Everything's gonna be alright. And when we get there, I'ma see a pretty young thing. I'ma ask her to take my hand. Head to the floor, we gon' dance. And when we get there, best believe we're gonna do a two-step. Ain't no drama in here, so don't stress. Step to the right, then side to the left.
Welcome back to the Stephen Knight Show. I want to remind you, if you're just tuning in tonight, that this is our third video of us actually doing the show. For years, we did it podcasted or internet radio, and now we're on YouTube with our videos. youtube.com/StephenKnightShow.com. Let everyone know. Please subscribe. Please comment. We're very appreciative of everyone who is interacting with us, and shout out to all of you. Well, welcome back to the show, Ms. Parker. How was your weekend?
Happy Monday. I had a pretty good weekend. It was a nice weather-wise weekend. So we went to the Beltline on Saturday. Friday was kind of just, winding down the week and not doing much. But Saturday went to Beltline, and then yesterday stopped by a friend's house just to kind of say hi and do some social distance and drinking from a distance.
Yeah.
But it was actually so good to see people.
Right.
And the Beltline was pretty packed too. The Beltline Saturday was pretty packed, but it was really hot out there. So we weren't out there so very long. Then we ordered sushi from a restaurant that was open on the Beltline. And I hadn't had sushi in so long since all this happened. So of course I'm a foodie. I was so excited. But it was a good weekend. Like I said, I'm accepting the new normal. So I just go with the flow, whatever that weekend brings. It's kind of where I am, and I try to just enjoy whatever's going on and not plan too much or have too much expectation of what the weekend should look like.
Most definitely. Well, I'm glad you had a good one. And Chica, you had a birthday yesterday. How was your weekend? How was the birthday?
So my festivities actually started on Friday. A couple of my friends gave me a surprise little dinner, a little intimate something, and it was really, really nice. Shout out to Lee and Linnea for going above and beyond for me. I love y'all. That was cool. Friday was good. I had a slight hangover, so I stayed in most of the day on Saturday, which was the best weather day, by the way. And Sunday, I actually had to check into a hotel for work. So Sunday was probably the most outside I've been in months, probably since January. And the guys are running errands because I wanted to get some supplies for the room because I didn't want to come back out. And just running those errands and picking up things and just seeing people out, I was cringing. Seriously, I was just cringing by seeing what was going on. And I had an opportunity to see Mrs. Evans through a window because I did go to Jersey real quick because I wanted to go to a specific store. So I waved at my mom while I was in Jersey.
Nice.
That was sweet.
It's kind of cool. Yeah.
That's awesome. Mr. Nair, how was your weekend?
Good. It was good. Good weather, like you said, and lots of Uber Eats and some cycling. That was it.
Yeah.
I tried not to do too much work. I did a little bit, but I tried to just enjoy it and relax, and I was able to do so. I had a good weekend.
That's awesome. I'm glad to hear that. My weekend was cool. We do this happy hour every Friday. We did that. Saturday, I actually got up and I exercised. I went to exercise outside, and I did some weights in the house, and was just in a good place. I actually hung out with my best friend, one of my best friends, Miss Parker, sorry. My best friend Saturday. Actually went back on Sunday. But just hung out. It was a beautiful weekend, beautiful weather. I talked to some friends on the phone, kind of thing. But yeah, it was good.
Don't forget to say virtual happy hour because people were like,
virtual happy hour, yeah. Don't please, virtual happy hour, Zoom happy hour.
It's from the house.
Yeah. You're right, exactly.
I missed it this Friday, but I'm sure I'll be able to jump on.
Yeah, I know you were.
Well, I wanted to bring up one thing really quickly. So on Friday, I was driving to the east side, and I was on 285, and there was a car in front of me that swerved to miss something. I was like, what are they doing? Then there was somebody's bumper in the road. So I had to swerve. And then maybe a minute later, my car just started beeping, right?
What?
And my entire car was beeping because it has all these sensors on it.
Right.
And there were people racing, like
I
speed
saw
racing
that.
on
I saw
the
the
freeway.
articles. Yeah.
And this is like probably around 7. So there were, pretty steady traffic. It wasn't like the freeway was empty or anything. Today I saw and they were heading to the area where it was reported on the news that 46 people were arrested.
Mm-hmm.
And good thing is they printed all of their names. Good. Yeah. Were arrested because there was a video that went viral on yesterday. They blocked the road and won't let people through so they can race.
Wow.
And so I guess heading to that area, they would race each other until they got there and then would block the road. Very dangerous, very reckless of other people's lives.
Most definitely.
Let's try to be mindful. I know that we have limited activities to do these days, and there aren't too much that's going to keep our attention. But let's try to find things that are creative and productive and useful that add a positive energy instead of taking away from people, because that's very dangerous. So I just wanted to say that and kind of bring that up, that's something in Atlanta that we're dealing with. I'm not sure if it's happening anywhere else, but definitely in Atlanta area.
Well, I definitely had a rude awakening yesterday. Yesterday I woke up and I was just like missing the nostalgia stuff. And I posted, I miss Sunday brunch. And then I came downstairs and I wasn't like devastated, but just missing old stuff, right? Mm-hmm. Came downstairs, made my morning tea. And I said, I was trying to set up my work day the night before. So I pulled up my laptop, set up everything. And I checked my email, and one of my consultants' daughter had emailed me to let me know her father was in ICU and she didn't know when he would be back. And that's when I realized, you know what? I have nothing to complain about. Mm-hmm. It was even in jest when I said it, but I had nothing to complain about, Mm-hmm. And so that was just a good reminder. And I made sure I posted that, and people, respected that, acknowledged what's important, especially during now where people are mm-hmm. dying and out of work and all that. Well, let's switch gears real quick. So our question of the day is, and definitely praying for Mr. Adams, who's my consultant. Yeah. So, question of the day is, what's something that you were teased about when you were a kid? Ms. Parker.
Probably being dark skinned. But the funny thing is, I've never had an issue with it.
Because your mother,
right? Yeah, my mother looked just like me, and I always thought she was beautiful. She used to always tell me these stories about how I was a princess going to turn into a queen, and the king was going to come get me. Yeah. So, she made me feel like I was the most beautiful little girl. So I never had an issue with my skin tone. What I had an issue with was weight. My dad's side of the family was very weight conscious, and I started off as a skinny kid, and I got chubby. Went through my little chubby stage. My grandmother could not understand it. She hated it. She was calling me fat. We were close, in the most loving way. But as I grew older and I understand the people that was in my life as adults when I was a kid, more so when I became a woman, when I became an adult. As a child, you don't understand why people do certain things, or you don't really get the depth of who they are. Her growing up in the Great Depression, growing up, my grandmother was 92 when she died, and she was born in like 1912 or something. So for her, she had been through so much where food was just really, for her, she always saw food as
survival. Yeah,
survival. Yeah, just a nutrition for your body. It's not supposed to be enjoyed. And she would catch herself enjoying a meal, and she'd be like, "Oh, this is too much," And then before I was born, she was diagnosed with diabetes, and lived with diabetes for 60 plus years with no complications. So she was very mindful of what she ate and how she exercised and what she looked like. She walked every day, and then also being in California, that whole lifestyle. Mm-hmm. So I had an issue with some self-image even into adulthood as far as like weight-wise, but never really the skin tone thing. And other people from different backgrounds always tell me, "Oh, you're so beautiful," or "You're beautiful for a dark-skinned, black girl," or whatever it may be. Yeah. But I never took insult to that, I guess. I never took that as an insult because that was never an issue. I think things are an issue when bothers you when you're already insecure about them.
Right. Yeah.
So I'm grateful for that. I have my other issues, trust me, a lot of them, but that was never one. So that didn't really scar me as it would have if that was already an issue.
Yeah, that makes sense. Chike, what were you teased about as a kid?
My full lips.
Me too. I forgot about that one. Me too.
Me too.
So my dad I inherited him from my father. And what my father did since I was very young, he, in his own way, taught me how to own it. So he used to joke with me as a kid, and every insult that he could possibly say to me that I would hear in the street about my lips, he would joke with me about it. So I would toughen up to it. And I remember one of the ones that stick out, and he used to say, when you were being made and the Lord was giving out lips, you thought he said ships, and you said, give me a fleet. And so I grew up with stuff like that. But hearing stuff from outside people didn't really affect me because my dad made me tough to it. So, yeah, that was it.
What about you, Nair?
I used to have this tooth. Before I got, I had braces, but before I got braces, I forget what side, but it was a tooth that was like, it never fell down all the way, so it was like right there, man. It was like right there, and it never failed, man, because I smiled all the time. And even teachers used to think I was, joking in class because I would smile, but I wouldn't be, but I used to smile all the time. So you would always see that little tooth, man.
Hanging in the side.
They used to get me about that tooth, man. Yeah. So it drove me insane for a while, but it wasn't so big because I was kind of happy-go-lucky anyway. But I remember when I got braces, and like shortly after I got braces, that tooth just fell down. Like I'm talking like a month, and I'm like, God damn, I went through my life, with this issue, and braces just had to drop. Like, I couldn't believe it. That was pretty much the only thing that really stuck out for me. That was a problem.
Mine were my lips as well. Anyone that wanted to say something about me, with your big old lips. My dad used to take two bananas. Who is this? And so, but I remember my mother told me, she said, one day the women gonna love them lips. and I remember when I went to, it was actually my senior year in high school. I was working at Taco Bell, and this girl, she was older, with your sexy lips. And I was waiting for the laugh, like, because I had been used to it. I was waiting for it. She just kept on doing what she's doing, making them bean burritos, whatever she was doing. And then it took me years, though, when people would compliment my lips to wait for the laugh. Like, I had to realize, okay, I did grow into it.
It's a real compliment, right? It's not like they're trying to make fun of you, right?
Yeah, but it took me forever, years to get to,
really?
I was waiting for that laugh, yeah.
So the three of you all had that same experience?
I had that. With my lips too,
Really?
Yeah. Yeah.
Wow.
And to be honest, like Steven said, it took someone older to actually appreciation for me to grasp that it was a positive thing, not a negative thing.
Yeah. Well, tweet us at home, Steven Knight Show SHO, and let us know what is something you were teased for when you were a kid. All right, on the hot topic. So coronavirus update. In terms worldwide, cases were at 4.76 million cases. 1.75 million have recovered, with 316,000 deaths worldwide. In terms of the United States, we have 1.53 million cases, with 287,000 people have recovered, and over 90,000 deaths. So Trump announced tonight that he has been taking
hydrocodone,
hydrochloroquine, which he has been saying this is the cure. Everyone needs to take this, but all the doctors and scientists say it's not true. It does not help. And ironically, so in his recent physical, they show that he has heart disease, but it's common for his age group. It's not like it's extreme. And that can kill him by taking that medication. So CNN reached out to the White House to see if he really was taking it, but they have not heard back yet. So, Trump would just say whatever for his agenda. So we don't know if he's taking this or not. All right, so there's a drug company now who's working on a vaccine that seems very promising. They found several people who have seeming to be immune to coronavirus. So with everything that we know now, I know this is like week 10. Ms. Parker, how are you feeling about coronavirus and states opening up and whatnot?
I'm still as confused as day one. I don't know what's going on. You know,
Right.
I think, like I said, I'm taking the same approach as, just taking my own health into my hands and making sure that I do things that I know that's going to keep me healthy physically, mentally, and spiritually. But I just don't know what to think anymore. I don't know what information is correct and what. I think they're trying to figure it out as we move along. But I know one thing is for sure: I'm not taking anybody's vaccination. I'm not doing it.
Mm.
Even if you have to you try to travel outside the country,
I would probably move. I'm okay with moving.
Yeah.
Where are you moving to?
I was thinking about that.
It's a lot of places I can move to. I will move before I take the vaccination because I'm telling you, I'm not going to have them put poison in me. To get a vaccine out, it usually takes between 10 years.
Yeah, at least
2
5.
years of
right.
2 years of coming up with it, 5 years of trial period, and
Right.
then whatever. You think they're going to find something in 7 to 10 months that you're going to be okay with ingesting your body? No, I'm not.
Yeah. Chike, as our resident medical expert, what are your thoughts on everything?
So I don't know how true it is, but I have heard that the president actually has some kind of stock in hydrochloroquine.
He has to.
And I've done my research with some of the physicians at work about that, and that is a harsh drug. What it does, it depletes your system. Like any drug that you take, even if you take ibuprofen or Tylenol, it has to be processed through your kidney and your liver. And the damage that this drug does to your liver and your internal organs to get the job done that it's supposed to do, you're in worse shape physically than you were before you took it because you have to process the drug. It's almost like chemo. Chemo does cure cancer. It kills the cancer, but it also kills you at the same time.
Exactly.
Why would you want to take some stuff that this man then told people to drink bleach to take? He is no one's medical expert. Don't listen to him.
Well, supposedly,
I don't understand what the problem is. Y'all need to leave Trump. Let him take whatever he's taking.
well, supposedly,
let the man live. Let him
supposedly, he's the one that told his doctors he wants to take it.
Right. Let him do it.
But they said in order to take this, you need to be under hospital care.
Steven,
and take
what's it to you?
He said, Steven.
Because of the side effect.
What side effect,
what's
right?
it to you?
Now, what are your thoughts?
About what he's taking?
About it all. Coronavirus, Trump, it all.
If he wants to take it, he take it. But I was thinking about that vaccine thing, and I remember I couldn't get to China without taking a vaccine.
Oh, yeah.
The yellow fever. So that's what I was asking.
And
I want to go to Africa. I want to go to Africa.
Too.
Yeah, and I'm saying,
yeah, but that's for malaria, right? You have to take malaria and
right.
What else? But those
right,
vaccinations are tested. They've been.
But
what I'm saying is
something that we've always had to do for ever since.
But with coronavirus now, they might require you to take that.
Exactly, that's what I'm saying.
No, I have heard that. I have heard that.
They added, So then it makes me. I want to go to Africa, So it's like if they add that onto that, and I don't want to take this vaccine either. But I'm like, man, if they add this part of the cocktail to get to Africa or some other place that I really want to go to, I think Africa is the only one that will cause a problem for me, actually.
Yeah.
Because I want to go there. I don't know. You guys may have been already, but I haven't been.
My brother went. My brother went to Ghana. Yeah.
Yeah, and he had to get vaccinated, right? But
if we aren't responsible with this pandemic right now, it can become endemic. And if it becomes endemic, a vaccine will definitely be the staple of our society. You will probably have to take it to function in society. Like I cannot be at my job without taking.
You can't do it right. Yeah.
Flu. Yeah. So if it becomes endemic, the vaccine will be on the table for everything that we want to do.
Oh my God.
Yeah, I had a lot of consultants years ago that worked at a hospital in Texas, and they all had to take all the get vaccinations.
Right.
So it just depends on your industry. But
or travel.
Yeah. Yeah, I know for me, I never had the flu shot before that I remember, but I got it in 2017. My doctor encouraged me to get it. Me and Miss Parker were actually going to New York for the weekend. I got sick as a dog. I said, "Oh no!" I took every medication I could find so I could make
Steven
sure.
is the most hard-headed friend I have.
I had to take it. My doctor told me to take it, but I haven't taken it since.
You said your doctor recommended it.
Yeah,
and then you were just like, okay, but I have been telling you for years, don't take that shot.
Well, I hadn't taken it in years, but I said, listen, okay, she knows some, I don't know. But I was sick as a dog, but I was good by that Trent one of his Parker.
Yeah.
All right, so Ahmaud Arbery, a reminder, he was the 24-year-old young man that was murdered in Georgia. He was out for a run. He had walked into the home, a home that was under construction, and they pulled surveillance for the last 4 months. And apparently a lot of people have been through that home. White, black, young, old, just looking around. Apparently the owner, when he would see it on surveillance, he was convinced that he needed to ask the guy who allegedly killed Ahmaud to watch the home. We know how that ended up. Well, now his mother is seeking the death sentence for the father and son who killed her son. Ms. Parker, what are your thoughts on it? Do you think that she should be seeking the death sentence? And
I think that is a personal decision. I can't speak for somebody who's going through that type of trauma. I think it'll be a disservice to even make that assumption. I'm not a fan of the death penalty. I don't advocate for it. But I think that I can't speak for someone who's been through that and what decision and how they're feeling. So I think that's a personal decision. But I did see the video of other people going in. My good friend Chris Stewart's on the case. So I've been following through his page and other things that he's sending in our group chat. But, we already knew that it wasn't about him looking in the house. There have been people who've been through there, and that to use that as an excuse, I think was a bit irresponsible, I think. I think that not really taking into account, that this man had lost his life. And then I think the media just jumped on, oh, well, he was roaming through the people's home. And I even seen I saw black people that, he had no business being there. And how many times have we gone through jogging or walking and see a home under construction and might take a peek? Didn't deserve to die over it. So I definitely feel like it's his family's decision.
Yeah. Well, like Melanie Davis said last week, Attorney Melanie Davis said last week, that's still not punishable by trespass, not punishable by murder. You know what I mean? So, yeah. Chike, what are your thoughts?
I cannot speak to the mother's wishes or her hopes for.
You went out on this. Chike. There you go. Can
you hear me?
Yeah.
Yeah. I can't speak to it. I can't speak to what her feelings are. I'm sure she's in the middle of her sorrow and her grief right now. And, I just can't.
Yeah. No, I agree. Nair.
Yeah, I can't. That's a big one. I'm also not a fan of the death penalty. I'm not a fan of humans taking other humans' lives, intentionally. I'm not a fan of it, even though I know there are some circumstances where people would find a way to reason, ration, all that, but I'm not a fan of it. So she's got to make that decision. I read that headline too. I haven't heard her say that. Have you actually heard her say that?
Well, she said she wanted them prosecuted to the full extent of the law. Okay. And that's what it is.
The media kind of plays these tricks, and the fullest extent, I guess, is that. But it's kind of like,
but to say that she wants them to seek that, outright.
And that might not be the case. She just wants justice, I'm sure, at the very least. I think she wants that, and whatever that takes. I'm all for that because that man was wrongfully murdered. He was targeted and wrongfully murdered, being targeted.
And you think about it, what she was told when he was murdered was that he broke into someone's home
and stole something,
and that the owner of the home
shot him.
That's what the authorities told her.
Right.
And so if this video never came to light,
cover up and lied.
If this story never came to light, she would have went down thinking her son broke in someone's house and was murdered.
Right.
And so what she's saying now is
her son didn't do that, but
right.
that question would have been there.
Right. Well, she didn't think that they would lie to her like that. And so the fact that if it wasn't for this video, she would never have known that. And like she said, we've been very patient. This was in February. Now we're here in May, and we're just getting an arrest. You know what I mean? So I think they have a great team of attorneys that are handling this case. And apparently she met with the new prosecutor who's handling the case. She met with him over the weekend. And so I just hope that justice is served. And I think that it's out of our hands how justice will be served. But I hope that she gets, what she needs from the death of her son. That's what I feel about that.
Absolutely, man.
Well, listen, I want to remind you, we're all over social media, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, of course, our official website. Shout out to all of our Instagram followers. We're over 12,000 followers.
Awesome.
We really appreciate you.
Yes, we appreciate that.
Remind you can check us out on our YouTube channel, The Stephen Knight Show, and we'll be right back with a few more hot topics when we get to this.
Oh, you so special. You got all this attention, and then that's what, they nobody, right? Am I supposed to deal with it, right? I'm supposed to be loyal, right? I'm supposed to love you, right, baby? I know what you be doing on tour. You know I be online. Click-clacking, tip-tapping with my fake press-on nails. I seen the pictures. I ain't pulling no weaves or no tracks out for you or nobody, punto. I'ma be special, too. I'ma go get me some attention out here in these streets.
Kept it simple on our first date. You was mad shy with that first plate. Wait, by the time the dessert came, she calling me by my birth name. Peruvian, Panamanian, spoke French, she was raised as Canadian. Spend the day with her, seeing that it's for the game. Favorite artists, Drake, Wayne, and Tory Lanez. Then we start pulling up, some rock sipping, peach, clear, and coconut. You know the vibes, me and baby toasting up. Rap life, backstage, we was posted up. Then your mood switched, it was so abrupt. Got your boy like, yo, what up? Then tried to pull you close to me. She like, who is she supposed to be? Who? Baby girl in the leopard print? She a fan, I just love the way she represent. Look, I know you at your element. Her ass fat, but I'm loving your intelligence. Now shorty about to go post. We can rock and Michelle, baby, meet me in the Oval. On God, whatever we gotta go through. It's been you since the day I approached you.
The things I'm feeling is true. From everything we've been through. I don't know about you. The things I'm feeling is true. From everything we've been through. I don't know about you. Look, think it's time that I upgraded. Damn, baby girl, the love and the lust faded. I'm crushed and frustrated, we fuss and cuss daily. Talking about you here and I'm having a hush, baby. I'm thinking it's trust, maybe you sus and just crazy. Just because you see me surrounded by buff ladies, it come with the fame. It's part of the game, it's hard to explain. But you ain't never heard shame involving my name. The art of rap is getting a larger stack. My blood pressure rising, you giving me heart attacks. When getting involved with Mac, I travel across the map. So I ain't got time for this media blogger crap. In due time, soon that you'll find that I was just a stand-up dude with a true grind. Driven motivation that dudes will lose minds. So I can give a damn about our numbers, so lose mine. Late night, stress, delayed flights. And yeah, I know the stigma with men, but I'm raised right. Getting mad cause I'm all on the gram and I gave likes. And yeah, I thought the picture was cool and I made swipe. But that don't mean I'm looking for bait or a playwright. Cause I'm more scared of dealing with you than stage fright. In my mind it rewinds my thoughts and my insights. All I know is this relationship stuff is pure hype. The things I'm feeling is true. From everything we've been through. I don't know about you. The things I'm feeling is true. From everything we've been through. I don't know about you. The things I'm feeling is true. From everything we've been through. I don't know about you. The things I'm feeling is true. From everything we've been through. I don't
out of my suitcase. I'm tired of living this way. That's why I'm packing my suitcase. I'm only taking what I need. The world is waiting for me. I won't sit home any longer. Message out dying of hunger, and I should be making a difference. I know I'm telling the truth. Wasted potential is the death of many. Yet there's plenty of dead men who live, 'cause their words live on, though they've been long gone. Yes, I know I wanna be like them. I've got places to be. I've got to see. Let's get along. It's time to go. What we waiting for? What we waiting for? Out of my suitcase. Getting out my suitcase. State to state. I'm going state to state. Spelling the hate. Country to country. I'm living out of my suitcase. Living out of my suitcase. I'm gonna make a difference. Not gonna walk in ignorance. Make the world listen. I'ma leave an imprint. Yes, they gon' know I'm here. The world is gonna be my stage. And when I'm long gone, they gon' talk about me. They gon' read about me. I'm gon' leave a legacy. A legacy. Yes, you and me gon' make history. Wasted potential is the death of many. Yet there's plenty of dead men who live, 'cause their words live on, though they've been long gone. Yes, I know I wanna be like them. I've got places to be. Come on and get your stuff. Let's hit the road. It's time to go. Let's hit the road. I'm gonna be living out of my suitcase. Cities, state to state, country to country. Spelling the hate, if that's what it takes. That's what it takes. Out of my suitcase. Let's change the world for every boy and girl. Let's lend a hand. Let's take a stand. When facing fears, they'll disappear. They'll disappear. Let's change the world for every boy and girl. Let's lend a hand. Let's take a stand. When facing fears, they'll disappear. They'll disappear. I got places to be. Let's hit the road. It's time to go. What we waiting for? I'm gonna be living out of my suitcase. Country to country, spelling the hate, if that's what it takes. I'm living out of my suitcase. Places to be, things to see. I got places to be. It's time to go. What we waiting for? I'm gonna be living out of my suitcase. City to city, state to state, country to country, spelling the hate, if that's what it takes. I'm living out of my suitcase. If you believe in your dream, won't you sing and say, out of my suitcase. If you believe in your dream, living out of my suitcase.
Welcome back to the Stephen Knight Show. Again, we're all over social media. Connect with us. We have new segments. We're very excited. Don't forget, later on the show, we welcome Prentice, who is the showrunner for HBO's Insecure. Great interview there. And then Trent Johnson, Jr., MD, who went viral after the video that his family threw of a graduation ceremony from at the house. He's been all over everywhere, and he joined us. So stay tuned for those interviews. All right, so this Versus thing has been lit. People are loving it. It was Erica, Jill, Teddy Riley, Babyface. Well, this weekend it was
Nelly.
Nelly and Ludacris. And Yes, there were a few technical difficulties. Apparently, there was a storm where Nelly lives, and it caused the signal to go in and out with his Wi-Fi. But they played hits like Nelly's Dilemma, Hot in There, My Place, Air Force Ones, and then Luda played Stand Up, Move, and What's Your Fantasy, among many others. Overall, it was a great show despite the technical difficulties. Now, we're going to discuss that, but also Brandy was asked recently again about her verses with Monica, and she said that Monica does not want to do it. So, Ms. Parker, I know that you had commented on the Nelly versus Luda, and I know you have thoughts about Brandy versus Monica. So go ahead, take it away.
Yes, I'm looking forward to. I hate the fact that it's, like we said, versus.
Yeah.
But this music that I grew up with and have a lot of memories, great memories too, and so I was looking forward to it. But my patience is just after the Teddy Riley and Babyface. I think you got about 5-10 minutes to get started before you lose me. With Jill Scott and Erica, which was funny because they got started pretty quickly. Everything was smooth with their technology, but I saw people on Facebook saying, "Oh, it's two women." Of course, a lot of talking. Nelly and Ludacris, when it was
they
working,
talked the whole time. Yeah.
They talked the whole time, tooted each other horn. Okay, we know you guys are friends. Play the music. You know what I mean? Like, you don't have to keep, yeah, man, you did the best. You did that. Yeah, man. Okay, sir. We get it. Let's go. So I didn't really, I wasn't really feeling it because, and then Nelly would start dancing. He'll get stuck doing
he was sweating hard too.
Whatever.
He was sweating hard too when the internet went out.
Right. With his internet. But I think these are things that need to be tested. And I think that it should be okay to reschedule. If there was a storm, he should have probably tested it maybe 30 minutes before and see if his live was working. I don't know how you just, and then he had a thing of chicken when he first started, almost like he just rolled out of bed, put on his jersey and was like, okay, I'm ready. That needs to be kind of, taken seriously because they're getting a lot of streaming income from doing this, Yeah. Their music is being streamed a lot more once they have one of these battles or verses. So I think it need to be taken a little bit more seriously. And I think Erica, so far my favorite has been Erica in Jail. I vibed to it the entire time. I was like, did not want to go off. And then I enjoyed Babyface and Teddy once they got right the second or third time they got it going. I really enjoyed that as well. I enjoyed even in between when Babyface would lose Teddy, he would play something on his guitar. And it was just like straight up just a musical genius, just showing his talent. And then at one point, Teddy was waiting for Babyface to join. He played some of his records alone. So I think that maybe Versus should think about going that avenue as well, where maybe just having an artist come on and do like a live thing, play their music, play some live music in and out, and give us a concert live. That would be awesome.
Yeah. Well, for years, no one knew they had collaborated together. Apparently, they did collaborate on a song called Money Maker, but it never
Who?
Nelly and Ludacris,
I know that they're friends in real life. So
but that version never saw the light of day. But they did play it on the verses. Chike, did you watch? What are your thoughts?
Oh, I'm sorry. Can I talk about Brandy and Monica?
Oh yeah.
I think that they should do it separately. I think I understand where Monica is coming from. She's in a space right now where she has a lot going on in her life. She does not need any. I think she's afraid of the negative energy that comes with that battle situation. Her whole career has been Brandy versus Monica versus Brandy. She doesn't want to be in that space of, battling somebody. So
but I think go ahead, I'm sorry.
But I think they should just give them a platform to just do their music each.
But I think you have to understand that people want to see Brandy and Monica together. And I'm not saying she has to do it, but they want to see them together. And so far, we have not seen any artists put against each other in the verses that we've seen. We've seen it celebrated. We've seen how it has brought both artists new revenue with the sales of their singles going up. And so I kind of wish Monica would do it because I don't think we haven't seen a bad example of this other than technical difficulties.
But they've had history of being put against each other. So I'm saying. So I'm thinking that's where I'm not saying. I get what
you mean.
But that's where I think that's where her decision right now stands from that experience, because that experience, you never know how that impacted her.
Exactly. That's true. That's true. What you thought, Shiga?
So I didn't see the verses. I was too busy birthdaying. So yeah. But this is what I because I did watch the Jill and Erica. This is what I want out of verses. I have the music already. I've heard the music 1,000 times. I've heard you do it live. If you did it live again, that would be great. But what I'm more interested in is the dialogue. I want to hear. Tell me a story that's connected to the song that we may not know about. Tell me about that time when you went into the studio and you probably weren't in the best of moods and you made this miraculous piece of art based off of your emotions. Tell me about how somebody else was supposed to maybe help you on this song that didn't get an opportunity to, but you would like to record it with that person finally. You know, stuff like that, like behind the scenes. I think that's more precious.
Yeah, no, I agree with that. You know, now we have Sean Stockman on from Boys and Men next week, and I had asked him in the interview, who does he think Boys and Men should go up against in the verses? And he said, based on the qualifications of Swiss Beats and Timbaland, that they don't qualify. And he said, because you're supposed to have at least 20 hits. And I told him that I think that for fans, they're not thinking about hits. They're thinking about the singles that didn't make, that, you know, that weren't the songs that weren't singles or things like that. What are your thoughts on the verses? And do you think that you have to have 20 hits to qualify?
Well, no, I don't think so. I don't think you have to have 20 hits, according to what they're talking about. The Billboard hits is what they're talking about.
Yeah.
I don't think so. And I find that hard to believe that they don't have 20 of those.
He said we have a good, strong 10.
Right. I totally agree with Chike, and I totally agree with what Michelle said, Ms. Parker. I loved the fact that Jill Scott was sharing stories behind the songs. Yeah. I love the fact that Babyface was sharing stories behind the songs. I love that part of it as a storytelling series. And I also enjoy the fact that Nelly got drunk and high by accident. You know what I mean? Like, I enjoy. I don't
know if it was by accident.
Yeah, he playing that, right? I actually enjoy seeing these people in real time without the polish. It brings a sense of realness to it all for me, you know? They're artists, they're entertainers, they make a lot of money, they have a lot of popularity, but at the same time, you know, we all do a lot of things very similarly, and that kind of creates this unique space. That's what I love about it. I love that it's not polished. They are having technical difficulties. You know, it's funny, but it's real. They money don't get them any closer to perfection in that regard than ours does.
You can't take care of a storm. You can't deal with a storm. It is what it is. Yeah.
And if you got bad internet in your basement, it's gonna be bad internet in the basement. Right. So I just thought that was so. I love that. I do agree with you too. Although we had that discourse and dialogue around the term and battle and how we can put it together in different ways, I haven't seen any bad examples yet. Doesn't mean it won't happen later. It doesn't mean they won't do it later, chop it up later, but it's been cool. It's been feel good. And there's been a lot of good, and especially when it comes to these Black artists being able to make money.
Exactly.
Because they don't make no money anyway from their master work, you know, but they get a couple of dollars, you know, from these streams that they're getting. So I think it's cool. I enjoy it. And the Boyz II Men thing, it would be great, but without even knowing about that 20 hit thing, I don't know nobody who would compare at that time that they was doing. It's not gonna be Drew Hill. It's not gonna be Jodeci. It's not gonna be 112. They were a classier, a bigger.
I think
they were a different.
They are different. I think Jagged Edge could, or 112. It's a different. It is a different. I know what you're saying. Boys and Men's like up here in terms of the polishness of it all, but hit for hit, I think they could do it.
Like Color Me Bad, Shy, they were kind of even classic.
Yeah.
I don't think they could do it either. But I mean, Boyz II Men, man, they cemented to me.
Most definitely.
Yeah.
We have a couple more hot topics. We have more, but we don't have enough time, so we'll just do two more. So Boosie is under fire, or catching fire from his backlash, from his parenting skills. So a video resurfaced of him pretty much praising the fact that he, with his sons, how he's raising his sons. He said that with his 12 or 13-year-old son and nephews, he hired a woman to give them oral sex pretty much. And he said that he's raising them right. He's getting them off to a good start. Not only did this woman, in a longer video that surfaced, not only is the woman who's super grown, as he says, only performed on his nephews and his son also hooked him up as well. And so now a producer, Kirk Moore, said, no grown man who openly admits to allowing his sons and nephews to have sex with a grown woman should be allowed around children. All this rite of passage talk is BS, and Boosie is ruining the lives of black children. Bottom line, he should not be near a child. What are your thoughts, Ms. Park?
I agree 100%. I agree 100%. I know that it went viral a couple of years ago that he hired strippers for his 12-year-old's birthday party.
Yeah.
It's just ridiculous. He doesn't know how men being exposed to sex at an early age in this type of way is so damaging, not just to how they're going to have to spend their adult life healing from it, but to the women that they're going to be dealing with in their adult lives and how damaging that relationship can be. Let kids be kids as far as it comes to sexual experiences. Let them go through, the process as we all did, trying to figure it out, and some sooner than others, but let them do it as kids and not it's something being set up by their fathers. I think he should be arrested. I think the person that he hired should be arrested. And I think is he admitting to, having his kids molested. Yeah. And if a guy has said that about a man, a grown man having sex with his 12 and 13-year-old woman, kids,
he'd be under
that
jail.
would have been knocking the door before the video even hit the internet. Yeah. So I think there's a double standard. I think that people think that men are not damaged by sexual assault and that sexual abuse doesn't affect them, but it does. It does.
Yeah. Yeah. Chica?
I feel the same exact way as Ms. Parker. A lot of people with issues around sex, those issues go back to your beginning sexual experiences. And if that portion of your life is not handled delicately with care, that is an issue that you could have throughout the rest of your life. And that can also affect other people if it's not healthy. So yeah, I don't agree with that at all.
Yeah.
Let children discover their own sexuality.
Exactly.
Give them education, but let them discover their own sexuality.
Right, yeah.
Yeah, I think there's a way to do it. There's some education that probably should be. Yeah, I don't agree with that at all. I think I was exposed to sex too early, and I was exposed to sex the wrong way. I'm blessed. I'm fortunate. I didn't have any molestation or abuse or anything that I would identify, but I definitely was exposed to sex too early and probably not the right way. It could have been a lot better, I'm sure. So I know the problems that can cause for people and the damage that can cause, especially like Ms. Parker said, in relationships. If I had a daughter coming up right now, I would be, and I was a celebrity, and I know that she could be in the mix with Boosie's children. I'd say stay away from them, for sure. Stay away from them boys. Them boys they got a long road ahead, So he's setting his sons up. He don't even realize it. He's setting his son up. He's setting other potential daughters up.
Yeah, and then the thing is because he a 12 or 13-year-old with a grown woman. So what's going to be his expectation when he hits his late teens or early 20s and he starts having sex with his peers? He's going to have this grown woman as his barometer of how it's supposed to be, and I don't think that's fair. That's not fair. So,
and the fact that he probably
I can even take it a step further, Stephen. That I'm sure they know that their father hired this woman to be with them.
Right.
So what does that tell you about their value of women and how they're going to look at sex and women and money? How's that going to look in your grown life?
I agree. I totally agree. All right, so our last topic real quick. So Alexis Sky is no stranger confronting those who attempt to shade her, and her most recent clapback has brought up a very interesting debate about the dating habits of men and women. Now, posted on her Instagram stories, Alexis had a straightforward yet raunchy message for men judging women by how many men they date. At this point, Alexis Sky is a veteran when it comes to tackling internet drama head on, as you can likely find her in the middle of the new issue on a regular basis. and likely inspired by the recent back and forth between Future and Tekashi 6ix9ine baby mama Sarah Maloney. Now, Alexis Scott posted a message to her Instagram stories that instantly sparked an intense debate. This is what she posted. She said, you can't turn a hoe into a housewife, but women supposed to turn felons, cheaters, community dick, and liars into kings. Okay, the irony. Now, her post immediately began to circulate on social media with both women and men offering their take on her observation. Meanwhile, Alexa recently spoke out about how she deals with internet trolls and say it's disgusting how they treat her daughter, who especially has special needs. She said, I don't really let the internet get to me. She was saying how I'm trying to not read the whole thing. She was saying that it did bother her at first when they would talk about her child with special needs or anything about her as it relates to that. But she said that she's learned how to deal with it, and she realizes those people have bigger issues if they want to go there. But as we all know, the internet trolls will continue this type of behavior, regardless of her words. So, Ms. Parker, what do you think about her saying the double standard between you can't turn a hoe into a housewife, but you can turn felons, you're supposed to turn felons and, people who men out there doing whatever into kings?
Honestly, I think people are really just bored because that meme that she posted has circulated probably the last 5 years. So I think it went viral because it came from her, her perspective. But I think that it's a reflection of who she is and where she is and the type of lifestyle that she's living. If you're dealing with drug dealers and pimps, and that's what you're turning into a king and trying to turn into a husband, that's just a reflection of who she is and where she is right now in her life. I'm not judging her, but I can't relate. So I don't have a lot of feedback on that because it all depends on where you are as far as dating is a reflection of who you are and who you're presenting yourself as. Yeah. And so that's in her environment, in her space, those are her options. And so I'm sure I can see how challenging that could be to turn into a husband, but it's a reflection of her lifestyle that I can't add too much to. But all I can say is that it's just a reflection of where she is, and she doesn't speak for women in general. I get the idea of what she's saying, but it's just a reflection of her experience in her current space.
Do you think there is a double standard when it comes to women dating multiple men versus a man dating multiple women?
I think women make it a double standard for themselves because I think that we are people who, women by nature, and I can speak from experience, when we meet someone we like, we tend to focus only on that person. Mm-hmm. And that's not truly dating. That's not what dating is. Dating is having your options and dating multiple people and going out multiple people and spending time and experiencing different things with different people. That's men, I think, are the true version of what dating is. I think women have expectations that once they like somebody, that they're going to like them right away and like them back, and then they're going to cut everybody else off as we do, which is not what dating is, and that's not what most men do. I just think women are not really capable of dating multiple men as men are capable of dating multiple.
Some are.
I didn't say all of them. But I think most women, when you meet someone you like, it's kind of challenging to take your attention off that person to go out with somebody else because it's more of an annoyance. You know what I mean? You like somebody a lot, and then you're going out with somebody else, and you're like, you really want to be with the person that you really like. And so we don't truly date. And I remember a guy friend said that to me. He was like, until women start seeing their options for dating and truly dating, they're always going to experience this chasing of one guy that they like and another woman may like because they're not leaving their options open and really dating as dating should be. So there is a double standard, but I think women play a bit into it as well because we're more emotional and a little bit more attached.
That makes sense. Chike.
So my mom always said this to me. She drilled it in my head. Consider the source. So when you consider the source, and if you look at this particular situation of the perspective in her universe, that is her reality. And basically she's speaking from her reality. Mm-hmm. I can't put my values on her reality because that's not my life. And I say that to any other woman or any other person that has an opinion about what she says, what her beliefs are, and what she does. She's doing things according to what's in her universe. Yeah. This is how I don't judge people. I can't attach myself to that. It's not my reality.
I
really honestly don't have an opinion. If that's how she feels, that's how she feels.
Nair?
Yeah. I posted a post very, very similar to that on my Instagram page, and it calls for that type of attention. I think she was just, that came from a special place, and especially a personal place for her. It ain't too much to say to that. That if that's your reality and that's what you feel you've been doing, turning toes into princes and all that,
right?
Let that be the case. And but maybe that's your job anyway. Who knows? Maybe you are supposed to turn a drug dealer into a king, or a community dig into a king, or a felon into a king. Maybe you are. Maybe that's your task. I don't know. But that sounded more of a personal thing, and anybody who felt a certain way, they probably can relate.
Yeah. I think obviously, I think it does spark an interesting conversation. But again, if someone's always in the middle of drama, sometimes you can't point the fingers at everybody else. You got to point at yourself. So, but listen, we're having these conversations. I think that's important. But listen, Ms. Parker, look forward to your this week's Mental Health Monday. Check out, see your movie reviews, and Nair, as always, thank you for all that you do.
Thank you.
All right.
Talk to you guys later.
Right back after this, y'all.
See
Good
ya.
night.
I don't keep it real, don't care how you feel. Just like everyone else, do you know what's real? Let go your past, girl, let it all go. Don't judge me according to what you've been through. I know it wasn't right what they did to you. You gon' have to trust me, you gon' have to trust me. I'm nothing like them other guys. Don't let a good thing slip away because all I wanna do is make you happy, girl. Just wanna make you happy, girl. Just let it go, don't live in the past, girl. Make you happy. All I wanna do is make you happy, girl. Just wanna make you happy, girl. Just wanna put a smile on your face, girl. Yeah, I know that it's hard, yeah, you don't know to trust, girl. Don't know to trust, girl. Just trying to protect your heart. All I wanna do is make you happy, girl. Just wanna make you happy, girl. Just let it go, don't live in the past, girl. Live in the past, girl. Maybe you can come and take my hand. I'm not your ordinary man. Try to do the best you can. You're trying not to give your heart to the wrong one. Wrong one. I know it wasn't right what they did to you. You gon' have to trust me. You gon' have to trust me. I'm nothing like them other guys. Don't let a good thing slip away because all I wanna do is make you happy, girl. Just wanna make you happy, girl. Just let it go, don't live in the past, girl. Make you happy. All I wanna do is make you happy, girl. Just wanna make you happy, girl. Just wanna put a smile on your face, girl. Yeah, I know that it's hard, yeah, you don't know to trust, girl. Don't know to trust, girl. Just trying to protect your heart. All I wanna do is make you happy, girl. Just wanna make you happy, girl. Just let it go, don't live in the past, girl. I know it wasn't right what they did to you. You're trying not to give your heart to the wrong one. Nothing like them other guys. I just want to make you happy. I just want us to be happy. 'Cause all I wanna do is make you happy, girl. Just wanna make you happy, girl. Just let it go, don't live in the past, girl. Make you happy. 'Cause all I wanna do is make you happy, girl. Just wanna make you happy, girl. Just wanna put a smile on your face, girl. Yeah, I know that it's hard, yeah, you don't know to trust, girl. Don't know to trust, girl. Just try Guess I'll dress all that shit that we had to say. Got me caught in my feelings, I'm not okay. You say fuck off, you hate me, I'm feeling away. Hold up, wait a minute, I ain't shit, well you ain't either. Pack your bags, I got it here. You've been evicted, get out of here. You press my buttons now, I'm talking shit. I'll shut my phone off and hit the club with my friends. Get out my face talking all that shit. I swear I'm done, had enough of it. You talking, keep walking ahead. Walk out the door and you know that that's it. I say what I say, but you know I don't mean it. And you say some things that I know you don't mean. I say what I say, but you know I don't mean it. And you say some things that I know you don't mean. You're down on your knees begging, begging me please now. I'm doing me now. I'm doing me now. You're cutting me deep, starting to bleed now. I'm feeling weak now. We argue for weeks now. And I just had a long ass day, so please get the fuck on my face. Not trying to go back and forth with you, please take the door with you. I'm trying to get in my pace. Well, hold up, wait a minute, I ain't shit, well you ain't either. Pack your bags, I got it here. You've been evicted, get out of here. You press my buttons now, I'm talking shit. I'll shut my phone off and hit the club with my friends. I say what I say, but you know I don't mean it. And you say some things that I know you don't mean. I say what I say, but you know I don't mean it. And you say some things that I know you don't mean. I say what I say, but you know I don't mean it. I say what I say, but you know I don't mean it. But you know I don't mean it. But you know I don't mean it.
Welcome back to the Stephen Knight Show. Our next guest is an award-winning writer. He is a showrunner for HBO's hit series, Insecure, and recently he directed the Netflix movie Uncorked. Please help me welcome the accomplished Prentice Penny. Welcome to the show.
Hey, how's it going, man?
I'm doing well. I know we're all going through this quarantine and trying to stay home. How's it going for you and your family?
I mean, we're alive, man, so that's cool.
Yeah,
That's
right.
all you can, I mean, to be honest, that's all you could ask for, to be perfectly honest right now, man. Is that, everybody's alive, everybody's okay.
That's facts.
So I'll take that right now, man.
Yeah. I know they said California is thinking about opening up on Friday. How comfortable do you feel going back out there?
Not at all.
Yeah.
Not at all. I'll let somebody else be the experiment, man. I'm gonna just try to see how those first couple of weeks go, and then
exactly
by that, you know what I mean? I have 3 kids, so
yeah,
I'm more so concerned about my wife and the 3 kids than anything else. So like I said, I'll kind of wait and see how it plays out.
I feel you. They opened up Georgia last week. I said,
I saw.
They can do that. They got that. They got that. Well, before we go into Insecure and Uncorked, let's talk about your career. How'd you get started in the industry?
Well, I went to, like the short version is I went to USC. I went to film school at USC, and graduated. Didn't get a bunch of offers to do a bunch of stuff. I was writing, but I had to get a job like a lot of people. I tried to make little things here and there. Worked at Walt Disney in the theme park division, and I kind of bounced around doing different things. Wrote music videos for directors, and finally I was like, I always knew I wanted to write in TV. I was just kind of pretty intimidated by it because different than when you write a movie where you can kind of write by yourself. In TV, you're kind of in a writer's room with a lot of people.
Yep.
And I was a little bit afraid of like, what if I'm not good enough? What if I'm not funny enough? What if I'm not this enough? So for me, it was, and then again, I was delaying the inevitable, which was kind of where I wanted to be. So at the time, my very first job was like, now I don't even know if the program still exists, but what I would say the closest thing would be like a diversity hire on television shows where I got a job on Girlfriends working under Mara Bracachia. But again, that was 9 years after graduating college. So it wasn't like
overnight success.
It wasn't like that at all. So but that was sort of where I got my first start as like a diversity hire. Then she hired me as a full-time writer. So that was the entryway around 2004.
Most definitely. And what made you not give up? I mean, 9 years after graduating, most people are like, okay, well, it's time to do something else. What made you stick with it?
I mean, it was just my dream, you know what I mean? And so, I had a good wife that was like, there's no plan B. We're just going to try to hit plan A. I didn't have any fallback skills. Like I went to college.
Right.
I got a degree in cinema. So I was like, I don't even have like a law degree or a business degree to fall back on to be like, well, I just kind of do this in the meantime. Like I didn't have any other choices.
Right.
Like, you can't really politic a film degree into to be a lawyer.
Right.
So yeah, I mean, it was just, it was hard. Obviously, it was difficult. And there are times where you're watching other people get shot and you're like, you're happy for them, but you're also like, man, when's my time?
Right. Yeah.
But yeah, I think like inevitably it was just God and, good support system. And my family never tried to like dissuade me. Yeah. Once I graduated. So that was obviously a big help. I didn't really have to face any, like, you got to get a job. I wasn't asking them for money. So it wasn't like I was just broke kind of on my own.
Right.
So yeah, I would say, prayer and patience, man.
Yeah. So once you landed Girlfriends, how did your career take off from there?
Well, I was on that show for 4 seasons until the show ended with as a result of the writer's strike in 2007. And then after that point, I was just kind of like, they had canceled a lot of Black shows at that time. And so I think the only show that kind of still stayed around was like The Game, was Mars' other show, The Game. And that was, I think, really it. And so I mostly worked on white shows really until Insecure. I mean, I just was like that. Those were the shows that were around. And, I got, that was what I realized too, was like, at the time, it's not like this now, but like back then, a lot of white people weren't aware of the Black shows that were on the air. It's not like now where like white people know what Atlanta is, white people know what Blackish is, white people know what Insecure is, or Dear White People. Back then it was like, oh, you're on the CW or you're on UPN or the WB. We don't really mess with that. That's like the Negro Leagues. And so a lot of ways I would realize that like, oh, the white shows were like, the Black shows were treated like the Negro Leagues in baseball, and that was, white people were the major leagues. And then, so I just realized that. And so it was, again, I had to just play in that space. So, but what I realized is like, once you're in that world, they all know each other. So like I got on like one show, and even though that show was like, I got on it, once I left Girlfriends, I was on this show called Do Not Disturb, which is actually how I met Niecy Nash. But that show was like, we did 3 episodes and we were canceled. But even though that show was like a complete flop, the people that were in that room could validate me to more white people.
Yeah, that's true.
So they were like, oh, Prentice is smart. Yeah. And then when I got my next show, they would call that show and be like, because they would all have worked together on other shows. And that's when you go like, oh, that's how this game kind of works.
The politics and even the networking though, really. But
yeah. It's just like if you're in a room with like millionaires, with millionaires, no other millionaires. You know what I mean? And so you're just like playing in a different pool. That's what I just realized, And so that's sort of what happened after that. So like I was on Do Not Disturb, and then that took me to Scrubs, and then the writers on Scrubs. Then one of the EPs on that show was going to run Happy Endings. So that took me to that. And then Happy Endings was good. And then like as a result of that, that got me on Brooklyn Nine-Nine. And then meeting people on Brooklyn Nine-Nine is what got me on Insecure. So it's like, we're all like kind of like doing this. And so, but that's what I realized. Yeah.
Most definitely. How hard would you say it is for someone, trying to get in the game today? How hard would it be? Because, it is about, again, networking, having those circles that you feel comfortable working in. How hard is it breaking into that circle?
I mean, I would say today it's probably a little easier in that one, you have actually like black people. You have certainly more black shows, and obviously you have certainly more black showrunners running those shows.
Right.
And so there's less, and the access to get to people is much easier. Like when I was coming up, there's no social media.
Right.
So like you can tweet at Issa and she can respond to you.
Yeah.
It just didn't exist back then. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? So like I would say, like, not that it's always hard. I mean, breaking in is always hard. That's why not everybody breaks in. But
Right.
I think the access to get to people, the sort of like deconstruction of like the gatekeeper to get in is much more difficult. The like now they make TV shows year round, as opposed to when I was coming up in the beginning where you had a TV cycle. So like they'd make shows, you know, from June to March, and then there was no summer programming. There was no
reruns.
Yeah, reruns.
Yeah,
like people don't really know what reruns are now. Like there was no streaming back then. So like there's just so many more ways to view content, and also like there's so many more acceptable ways that content gets viewed. Like you can have a little web thing and be on Quibi and have like a little 10-minute show or a web show, like and knock you off. So like there's just different avenues now that just didn't exist then. So I think the way you get in, it opens up. I think what you lose on that is like people eyeballs to your thing, because there's so much now that like back then it was like, you know, everybody, you only had like, you had HBO and you had Showtime, but really you had like channel, you know, you had ABC, NBC, Fox, and CBS.
Exactly.
You know, but you didn't, but now everybody's
crazy.
Content.
Exactly.
So it's like, so I think so what kind of gets sacrificed in that is like, it's great that there's more avenues, but then what you kind of lose is like this idea that like a show will go on for like 8 years, like 9 years. Like back in the day, how it used to be like, oh, a show would go on like 9 years.
Yeah.
Like nowadays, a show is like 3 years, 2 years, and you're kind
of
that's
done.
It. So I think like, or they're not really doing, you know, back then you would do like 22 episodes of a show, and right now you might do like 8 episodes of this show, 7 episodes of this show. So it's just got like you're kind of piecemealing.
That's true.
A year of work together, but so it's just different. But I think as long as there's some more ways to get in, I think that's always good.
That's true. That's true. So I mentioned you. Obviously, you're a showrunner on Insecure. Many people don't know what that is. What is a showrunner?
So a showrunner, what I would say is like the way like in sports you might have a general manager where you're like the person is responsible for like everything, every player on the team, right? So like in my job, everything I'm responsible, and Issa and I are both responsible for everything from like the idea of what the season's gonna be, from when it's like no idea till all the episodes are done, and we're responsible for everything in between. So we're responsible for like hiring all the writers, hiring all the directors, casting all the actors. We're responsible for breaking all the stories and coming up with the ideas and helping writing all the episodes, rewriting all the episodes. Obviously, we have other writers in the show. You're responsible for dealing with the network. You're responsible for all of the shooting, all the production, hiring all the crew, putting all the music in, hiring the editors, editing the episode, helping with, working with the marketing department on things like, so you're responsible literally from everything from like, there is no season 4 of Insecure to season 4 is hitting the air. And everything that encompasses getting it there is what showrunners are in charge of.
Wow. That's a lot. So how is, this time of quarantine, and obviously the show is, in season 4 and is up and running and people are loving it. I'm loving it. How has this time of quarantine impacted that show, would you say? Or has it?
I don't think it's impacted season 4 because, we shot season 4 last year. It's actually, we just started season 5 yesterday.
Oh, okay.
In the writer's room. So it's certainly impacting how we're deciding, how we're balancing how much we're going to involve, the quarantine and the coronavirus in the next season. Because we're sort of wrestling with, do we want to be like the show kind of exists in a bubble, or do we sort of want to be like aware and not be tone deaf? So we're figuring out our own balance.
Figuring that out.
Yeah. So it obviously, and I would say the way it's impacted it right now, at least in this, is like none of the writers are together. We're all kind of having a writer's room like this.
Exactly.
So I don't know how much obviously it'll impact it, but it's not really having any impact on season 4 because that was already sort of done.
Right. Well, let's talk about season 4.
All right.
So the heartbreaking part for me so far is the development of the relationship between Molly and Issa. It's kind of hit a hard spot. Are you Team Issa or Team Molly at this point?
I'm not really team anybody, to be honest. I think both have fair point of views, and I think that's how we tried to. I think Molly's getting a little bit of an unfair backlash, a little bit. When we think about the show, I think sometimes audiences think about the show very like sometimes in the moment. But when we break the season, we try to take into account all we've seen so far. So like, I feel like people have been sort of like, Molly's like a bad friend, and I go like, well, Issa talked about Molly's, broken vagina, episode 1 in the beginning. And then when like Daniel and Lawrence were at the fundraiser, Molly ran interference for her. Right. And when Lawrence, she needed to drive back to get the Lawrence, Molly drove her back, and Molly is there for her. Like Molly's like giving her money, and like I feel like Molly's been like a really good friend, and so I feel like, but we take into those we take all that into an account.
Right.
The audience may not. Right, like a real friendship over time. The audience may only be taking right now into account, and so I'm not really team. I'm team their friendship.
Yeah, me too.
So I think it's sad to like watch, but I think that's what happens when you're like, you've been friends with somebody for so long. You know where all the bodies are buried. You know all their mistakes.
Yeah.
And sometimes and I think this is a season where we're watching them sort of take their friendship for granted.
Right. Yeah.
And thinking it'll always be okay.
Right.
And learning that it may not be.
Yeah, I think Sunday's episode that just passed. I think we got to see more of Molly's perspective on why the friendship is kind of from her perspective. I think
for sure
the first couple episodes we saw Issa and how how she felt, but I think getting to see the full story, and I'm sure we'll see more as it develops. I know you can't give too much away, but what can we expect in the next episode?
Well, I mean, I think it's the block party episode, right?
Yeah.
So I think you'll see, some stuff happen at the block party.
All right.
Every Chiron is like 3 months before the block party, 2 months before the block party. So I think you're gonna see when she goes like, you're gonna see some checks be cashed that were set up at the beginning. So
okay,
I'm curious to see how people will feel, but I don't want to give too much away. But I think some checks will be cashed based on what you've seen so far.
All right. I was on your Twitter page, and a lot of people are complaining that it's only 30 minutes, and we gotta wait a week for 30 minutes.
I'm like, it's 4 years. Come on, y'all. It's a half-hour comedy. So
right.
I guess it tells you in the name it's a half-hour comedy.
Yeah.
So so but I love that people want to see more, but like that's not the show. It's not an hour long drama. It's a half-hour comedy.
So I heard that the way that you got on the show is once it was greenlighted for HBO, you reached out to Issa and you reached out to her. Can you talk about that?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I when I saw that they needed a new showrunner, they didn't have anybody to help showrun the pilot, and because Larry, who co-wrote it with her, was getting his talk show at the time, and I read the script and I was aware who Issa was, and we both grew up we're both from like View Park area in Los Angeles, and so we're both from the same neighborhood, and I worked in a nonprofit. Obviously, the show took place in a nonprofit. They were just I'm from LA. Yeah. There were so many things I just could identify about the script that I didn't need to be explained, like what Crenshaw meant, this meant, that meant. Like I was like, that's where I grew up.
Yeah.
So, there was just a shorthand that I think she and I spoke to and understood about LA, and I felt like I didn't think there'd be a better show that spoke to my neighborhood, where I was from, talking about the things that I also felt as a Black person, and having the experience I had gotten by that point, how I could help Issa. Like I was like, there's no person that's better suited to do this. And I felt like I could singularly help that. And because I felt like Issa was like a young me. Like if I was Issa put into this spot, what person would I want? And who would I think could help me? And like, I just saw a lot of myself in her.
Yeah.
And I wrote her a letter about why, we had one of my agents was a friend of hers from college.
Okay.
So I had also worked with Lena Waithe, who was also a friend of Issa when we were on Girlfriends. Like the last season of Girlfriends, like Lena was one of our showrunner's assistants.
Okay.
So Lena and I also came up together where I was like a writer, and I was a young writer and she was a young assistant trying to get put on too. And so we all kind of came up together. And so I asked Lena, would she reach out? And then my agent was like, you should write her a letter. And I did. I wrote her a letter about what I thought I could bring to it, what I thought could help, what I thought I could do, what I loved about the pilot, and that I wanted to help her. And if she didn't go with me, that I would be a voice for her to help just as a writer in the business. Like I'm here to help. And we met, I think we met for like 15, 20 minutes, and we just really hit it off right away. And it's been that way ever since. And so, yeah.
That's dope. I know everyone was devastated. We had to wait a year to see season 4, but no, it was definitely worth the wait. Let's talk about Uncorked. So it was one Friday. I was bored in the house. So let me see what's on Netflix. Uncorked, what's this? The minute I turned it on, I was hooked. I was hooked. I mean, that was, and you directed that. What made you get behind this project?
Yeah, I mean, at the time when I was trying to figure out, when you work in television, you're often trying to like mimic another writer's voice, right? Like if writers write on Insecure, they're trying to mimic what Issa wrote in the beginning, right? You're trying to kind of copy every week. You're like doing that. And so I've been on television shows, and so I felt like I didn't know what my voice was yet, and I was afraid. And at the time, I was also being asked to like write other movies. A lot of the movies I was being asked to write were like sequels or reboots, and I was like, that's kind of again copying another writer that kind of set before me a style. Right. And I just wanted to write something that I felt, 1, I could direct, 2, that I could find my own voice, 3, I felt like I had just become a father, and it made me examine things with my father a little differently, and not just see him as, quote unquote, my father, but as just a guy trying to figure it out. And, my dad was like 27 when he had me, and, I was 30 something and had a kid. So I was much more established and entrenched, certainly career wise and as an adult wise. And my dad was just like a business owner trying to figure it out. And so it just made me understand him more. And I wanted to talk about that because I felt like typically in Black father-son movies, it's always their problems are always about the father was absent, and never like they just have issues as two men. Like I feel like white counterpart movies like Good Will Hunting or Manchester by the Sea, white people get to kind of have these sort of slice of life father-son stories without, and just be like they're just two men that have to figure it out together. And I felt like we don't get to make those movies. White people get to be regular all the time. And I was like, black people always have to be exceptional. Yeah. And I was like, we can just be regular too, because I feel like when you make people regular, it shows more of their humanity and all their flaws than like, and it's no knock to movies like Hidden Figures or anything like that, but the second you have a movie like that, there's no other counterpoint of view to the women. So like, because you like, oh, the white people are bad, they're racist, that's bad. So the black people have to be good. Right. Like there's no gray area. There's no like muddiness. Right. And so for me, it's like those movies are important, and like that's good. You need those movies, but I feel like the more muddy you make people, the more complex you make them in a lot of ways, and the more you understand their humanity, then they have to become like caricatures of right or wrong, or tales of like a parable of like this is the good and this is the bad. So that's where it started from. Most definitely. Well, it was a great movie, and I mean, it wasn't even on my radar, but once I saw it, I was telling everybody, y'all gotta watch this movie. Y'all gotta watch this movie. Thank you. Tell everyone where they can keep up with you. Your Instagram your Twitter. I love your Twitter. I was reading because you tweet during the show, the Insecure, and then you tweet about your family and your kids and whatnot. Where can everybody keep up with you? I think my Twitter and my Instagram is all this same. So _A_Prentice, The Apprentice. That's where they can find me on Twitter and Instagram. Prentice Penny, man, I want to thank you so much for joining us tonight, and continue to stay safe with your family. I can't wait to watch Insecure Sunday. And for more information, go to our website, thestevenknightshow.com. We'll be right back after this.
Text you late night when you laying down. Phone start ringing, you don't hear a sound. I've been working all day. I know you're working all night. I hope it's not too late. Yeah, I'ma call you anyway, hoping that you're still awake. Yeah, I've been thinking about you every day. Text you late night when you laying down. Phone start ringing, you don't hear a sound. I've been working all day. Know you're working all night. I hope it's not too late. yeah. But I'ma call you anyway, hoping that you're still awake, yeah. I've been thinking about you every day, yeah, yeah, yeah. Too late, too late. Baby, am I too late? Yeah. Baby, am I too late? Yeah, yeah. Baby, am I too late? Am I too late to touch you on your favorite place? Baby, am I too late? Tell me. Can we pick another day? Can we pick another night? Maybe on a Tuesday. Too late. Yeah. Every part of your body is like a premonition. You give me chills and goosebumps. Your beauty a killer, I tell her to do some. Yeah. Attraction for me is beyond sex. Whole nother level for me, it's beyond next. And if I'm being honest, expression affection just feels odd. You call me pet names, the pumpkin, the cutie pie, but this hot girl summer got me more icy. I can't trust no one, it's not likely. No, it's not likely. Yeah, but I'm trying. Yeah, I'm trying. Yeah, I'm trying. Beautiful for my soul. Let's lose our minds and our clothes. It's hard to fuck with these hoes, cause no one knows what you know. Out of body experience. Love your mind and your body is serious. Can't even say I love you back, but I got your back. My heart is cracked, so hard for me to act on it. I get this bitch my heart before she turn her back on it. XX heart eater, she gonna snack on it. Girl turn around and let a nigga smack on it. Girl say ain't here to pass, they smoking that crack. Cause my shorty get passenger and she gon' ride like a drive-by, no mask in her. I'm tryna fuck till you cry up your mascara. I want your beauty and your beast, I want the whole thing, every single last piece. I don't wanna keep you home, but I don't want you sleep alone. I don't wanna eat alone, when I bring a friend along. Text you late night when you laying down. Phone start ringing, you don't hear a sound. I've been working all day, I know you're working all night. I hope it's not too late, yeah. I'ma call you anyway, hoping that you're still awake, yeah. I've been thinking about you every day. Text you late night when you laying down. Phone start ringing, you don't hear the sound. I've been working all day, I know you're working all night. I hope it's not too late, yeah. But I'ma call you anyway, hoping that you're still awake, yeah. I've been thinking about you every day, yeah, yeah, yeah. Too late, too late. Baby, am I too late? Yeah. Baby, am I too late? Yeah, yeah.
We in this biatch, like all over our sweethearts. Self-discovery, lesson learned, we on our Alfred Hitchcock. East Coast hard, West Coast hard. Rest in peace, Tupac, poetic hip-hop. Round and round we go, life cycle, tick-tock. It's me, someone an anomaly. First degree of hip-hop hypocrisy. Never fit in what you motherfucking label me. As I sit back and watch, never interject. Money in the bank with the ill concept. Vision is clear, never gets complex. Chillin' on the scene like Peace Hotel. For the 1800 and vanilla Coke. Sit back and chill, maybe even smoke. Summertime lounging, good to go. Chillin' at the beach, that's how we roll. I make it sexy, baby.
Make it sexy, make it super fly.
I make it sexy, baby.
Make it sexy, make it fly high.
I make it sexy, baby.
Make it sexy, make it super fly.
Make it sexy, baby.
Make it shake it, just like
sexy, baby.
Get that sexy.
We be the scene stillers, way back as stillers. lounging in the cut with the cold chillers, twisted on the sun. Propaganda for fun, run forest, run dream builders. Fly establishment, clean with fresh kicks. Good eating, sunbathing where the money went. Harlem bars, Harley stars, two twisted Uber cars, stripper poles, diamond gold, church basket, tithe and hold. Private gyms, assaulting ribs, exclusive diamond fold friends, purple label, more stable, life coach, now you're able. Cabotins, spa stins, freaky hints. But yo, where the money, where to make it sexy, baby?
Make it sexy, make it super fly.
Make it sexy, baby.
Make it sexy, make it fly high.
I'll make it sexy, baby.
Make it sexy, make it super fly.
I'll make it sexy, baby.
Make it shake it, just don't break it, get that sexy.
Scene stealers, Hollywood heel dealers, lounging in the cut with the big willers, rocking clean whips and fresh kicks. Harlem bars, Harley stars, twisted Uber cars.
Car ride by with the booming system. Throwback vibe with a good intention. Lover who you are, don't be scared to mention. Chillin' with my beats, no ill pretension. Catch the waves, dancing days, Sundays, fun days, Fridays, payday, make money any day. Whatever you do, love it and be free. And remember, I'll make it sexy, baby.
Make it sexy,
baby.
make it super fly.
Make it sexy, baby.
Make it sexy, make it fly high.
I'll make it sexy, baby.
Make it sexy, make it super fly.
Make it sexy, baby.
Make it shake it, just don't break it, get that sexy.
Make it sexy, baby.
Make it sexy, make it super fly. Make it sexy, make it fly high.
Make it sexy, baby.
Make it sexy, make it super fly. Make it shake it, just don't break it, get that sexy.
Make it sexy, baby.
The vulnerable one.
Welcome back to the Stephen Knight Show. Our next guest went viral after his family threw him a graduation ceremony from their living room after he graduated with his medical degree. Please help me welcome Trent Johnson, MD. Welcome to the show.
What's up? Hey, y'all. How you doing?
How's it feel to hear that MD behind your name?
You know, it feels surreal. Like, growing up, I always dreamed of becoming a doctor and wanting to become a doctor, working real hard to get to where I am. And now to hear people say that, it seems so surreal.
Yeah. Well, take us back to, you graduated from Ohio State College of Medicine.
Mm-hmm.
And take us to the day that you knew you were graduating, because obviously with coronavirus and everything, you know, we're not having ceremonies, typical ceremonies. So how did you find out about your graduation? Tell me about that day.
Yeah, they sent me an email. It was very not personal at all. And it said graduation canceled. And I remember the school did. My dean said graduation has been canceled. I was like, what?
Wow.
All the emotions hit me at once.
Yeah.
I was in the living room and I got up, went to my bedroom, and I cried because it was a day that I had worked so hard to get to, and
all that work
be just ripped from up under me. I was boo crying for a while. And my mom called me, and she actually helped cheer me up. She called me and she said, you know, this does not negate the fact that you worked so hard to get to where you are. We are going to do everything we can to make the day as special as possible. And I was like, that sounds good. Yeah, I was heartbroken. I was real heartbroken about that.
Yeah, I can only imagine, you know, and even like high school seniors and, you know, and people, and like you said, someone who's worked so hard for so many years and you finally achieve this big dream and you can't have your graduation ceremony. So when did you find out about the family graduation ceremony?
Well, I was in Ohio and med school was basically canceled for the remainder of the year. And I was like, I don't have to be in Ohio. I'm from Orlando. I'm out.
Oh, yeah. Right.
I went to Orlando and I remember being in the house thinking, all right, we're about to do this. And originally I thought it was going to be silly. I was like, this is about to be real silly, but whatever, I'm here for it.
Right.
My mom and dad and brother were in the house trying to get like whatever decorations they could get to make it a thing. My mom had ordered all this stuff from like Amazon, and they didn't ship it on time. Party City was closed. Walmart only had like a couple things here and there. So like it was all makeshift. Like we made it happen the night before. We're in the living room putting up like a congratulations banner. And my mom was like, this is so frustrating because this isn't the one I wanted and it's annoying. But we made it work. We pulled 2 tablecloths from, I don't even know where they were from, 2 red tablecloths, put them up as my backdrop, filled up those balloons. And that's what we did to make it seem like it was, to make it look special. We utilized what we had in the house.
Yeah. And so it looked like it was a great, despite everything, it seemed like it was a great time for the family to celebrate you. So you posted on Instagram and then it goes viral.
Right.
And I saw it on the Shade Room.
Hey.
We saw it in the Shade Room. We reposted it and it went viral on our page. People are still commenting on it today. So were you shocked by that reaction?
Yeah, I was. I was in a U-Haul on the way to Baltimore, which is where I am now. I moved here for residency.
Yeah.
And I was like, let me just post this on Twitter. I haven't posted on Twitter in years. I was like, let me just see what Twitter is doing. So I posted it on Twitter and I was like, okay, at the end of the night, I think I had like 1,000 likes. And I told my friend who helped me move here, I was like, I got more likes than I have followers on Twitter. So that's pretty cool.
Right.
I don't even know 1,000 people on Twitter. And then the next day, it just like spiraled. It was like 4,000, 20,000. I was like, I think I might hit 100,000. I was on the phone with my brother. I was like, you think I'm gonna hit 100,000 a day? He's like, I don't know. Like, we don't really know nobody.
Right.
And 100,000, 200,000. I was like, all right, this is real. And people were like in my inbox, like ABC, Fox, NPR. I was like, is this real?
Right.
And then it moved. It was on Twitter for like a couple days before it made it to Instagram.
Okay.
And I remember like someone from the Shade Room reached out to me and she said, we want to repost your video. Is it cool? I was like, yeah, she's playing. Ain't gonna repost me on the Shade Room. Like, that's big on Insta.
Yeah.
And they did. And when that happened, like Instagram just like started going in. So it was totally unexpected. But like I told my mom when it happened, I said, I am so grateful that I got to share my graduation with the rest of the world and inspire other graduates to still celebrate your accomplishments. Like, though the ending was like abrupt, it does not negate the journey that we took to get to where we are.
Most definitely.
And, I hope like high schoolers, middle schoolers, anyone who's graduating from anything, trade school, nursing school, like still can put on some clothes, get out of their bed and celebrate their accomplishment, even if it's with their family.
Right.
Because it actually was a little bit more special than the actual ceremony.
Yeah. And then the fact that something that was, kind of intimate with your family and then the world got to celebrate, together. And that was awesome. That was awesome. So now you're an internal medicine resident at Johns Hopkins Hospital.
Yeah, that's weird.
So what exactly are you? What exactly kind of doctor are you, or what do you practice?
Yeah, so internal medicine residency, these are the doctors that see everybody that comes through the hospital doors. So like emergency rooms, people with liver problems, GI problems, sickle cell, any disease that you can think of, cancer, whatever it is, we manage those diseases. And I'll do that for 3 years before specializing in cardiology, which is the field that I'm the most passionate about because it is the system that plagues most of my family. Like a lot of people in my family have high blood pressure, heart disease, heart attacks, and that's the field that I'm passionate about. So I'll be doing that after my 3 years of internal medicine at Hopkins.
That's awesome. I know you have a website where people can keep up everything you have going on. Can you tell us what that is?
Yeah, my website is trentbjohnsonjr.com. And on my website, you can get to all of my social media platforms because, the handles are crazy. But my website, trentbjohnsonjr.com. That's me.
And also be in the bio on this video. But thank you so much for inspiring all of us. Congratulations on your major accomplishment. I know the best is yet to come for you. And I just want to thank you for your time.
No problem. And if there's any listeners out there who are trying to figure out how to become a doctor, hit me up. I got you.
Yeah.
I got you.
Most definitely. Well, listen, our thanks go out to Trent Johnson for joining us. Trent Johnson, MD, for joining us tonight. And for more information, you can go to our website, thestevenknightshow.com. We'll be right back after this.
So we taking over. One time.
Man can never suffer, suffer, man can never suffer, suffer, man rely on the waiting, but I'm in the setting, that's the nigga they chasing, but the trooper she jacking, man can never suffer, suffer, man can never suffer, suffer, man rely on the waiting. Man, I'm in the setting. That's the nigga they chasing. But the trooper she checking. I said the trooper she waiting, she checking, she looking like she not know what they are talking. I told her that trouble she causing, the way that she rocking and shaking her to my Onina Fatumata, put it on me like she from Kakatai. All the men is scatter, that all bene hour in a chaklai. When you tie your lapa and you wear your skin test, when you rocking your tuma, Bange, I won't marry you. Chamu, I won't take you. Anything you want, I give it to you. Take my knee, my money, my car, my clothes, my everything, oh. Suffer, Bange never suffer, suffer, I'm relying on the waiting, but I'm in the setting. That's the nigga they chasing, but the trooper she jacking. Man can never suffer, suffer, man can never suffer, suffer. I'm relying on the waiting, but I'm in the setting. That's the nigga they chasing, but the trooper she jacking.
One play you non-see funk, get capping. Like I said before, hunger line blocking. You leave it, another scam and we'll bop it. Grab it, squeeze it with dry face. That it done, you will be trying how to catch it. You know you're missing a casa bavete. You fix it, 05, trying how to catch it. Then you want speed series now till they get. Pretty girl, let me take you out of dinner. I got a cheddar, forgive me, I was a sinner. Gonna be better from January down to December. Take trips, go to spots even in the winter. So sexy, gorgeous and beautiful. Everything that we do is so memorable. I'm feeling you from your head down to your toes. Don't have to speak on it, I'm gonna show.
Suffer, man can never suffer, suffer. I'm relying on the waiting, but I'm in the setting. That's the nigga they chasing, but the trooper she jacking. Man can never suffer, suffer, man can never suffer. I'm relying on the waiting, but I'm in the setting. That's the nigga they chasing, but the trooper she checking.
Anytime she walking, the boy them be watching. Anytime she walking, the boy them be jaking. Baby girl, you temptation. Anytime you turn, girl, you confusion. Baby girl, you temptation. Anytime you turn, girl, you confusion.
Setting. That's the nigga they chasing, but the trooper she jacking. Man can never suffer, suffer, man can never suffer, suffer. I'm relying on the waiting, but I'm in the setting. That's the nigga they chasing, but the trooper she jacking.
R.I.P. No murder.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. You niggas thought I fell off. Hey, what they talking about? Huh? Now tell me what's part of the earth. Tell me what's part of the earth. I fell off. Tell me what's part of the earth. Tell me which part of the earth I fell off, nigga. Tell me which part of the earth I fell off. And tell me which part of the earth I fell off. Yeah. Tell me which part of the earth I fell off. Yeah. Tell me which part of the earth I fell off, nigga. Yeah. Tell me which part of the earth I fell off. Yeah. Tell me which part of the earth I fell off. My bank account say different. Which lane am I switching? Which bitch am I hitting? Extensions on the clip end. 40K on my wrist. Got a bad bitch that don't listen. I never forgot to mention I'm still on a rap mission. Or some Secret Service shit. I break my foot up and down on Trump ass. Pretty bitches ride without a fun pass. I got a brand new whip that go dumb fast. I park in front of that trap house. Killing niggas bring max out. Drug dealers bring packs out. Instagram hoes bring their ass out. Cause I'm super fucking famous. Lord knows that I made it. But all this motherfucking hatred, finna get these niggas cremated. I'm a litty nigga with a Swiss of sweet. Washed up and Dom Perignon. Put a bag on his body parts, then book a flight with the carry-on. No problem fucking that flight attendant. 20 minutes the vagina finish. Throw the pussy out, I'm a menace. Just remember something they forgot to mention. If I come from nothing and I got to visit. Poppin' shit without a pot the business. Cut the cousin and I shot the witness. Fuck them all, I think a lot to live with. Part of the earth. Tell me which part of the earth I fell off. Tell me which part of the earth. Tell me which part of the earth I fell off, nigga. Tell me which part of the earth I fell off. Tell me which part of the earth I fell off. Yeah. Tell me which part of the earth I fell off. Yeah. Tell me which part of the earth I fell off, nigga. Yeah. Tell me which part of the earth I fell off. Yeah. Tell me which part of the earth I fell off. My bank account say different. Which lane am I switching? Which bitch am I hitting? Extensions on the clip end. 40K on my wrist. Got a bad bitch that don't listen. I never forgot to mention I'm still on a rap mission. Tell me which part of the earth I fell off. Bomb in the church like I cut my head off. Got it for the dirt niggas know I'm well off. Crushing a purse, sniffing coke over Kellogg. Niggas be books in the Addy, I'm a mellow. Just caught a body, now it's time for me to bellow. Out here bobbing and weaving that pussy. Niggas be cuffing, I'm leaving that pussy. Ha! All about a motherfucking dollar bill. Tell a motherfucker what it's sounding. Still, 10 different currencies, commas, mills. Dripping overseas in a Ghana. Feel, beat a nigga ass, no limit. Still, leave a bitch shaking around they danger. Feel, double dose of that vitamin. Hit a bitch with that village. Salute to the Z's in the canister. Niggas moving on season, season. Having limousines and vans. Rockets, Mikey Z's and jacket. Sipping on the sea and passing. Rosary bees and body. Praying on my knees and Gotti. Nigga, that's the reason why we tell me which part of the earth. Tell me which part of the earth I fell off. Tell me which part of the earth. Tell me which part of the earth I fell off, nigga. Tell me which part of the earth I fell off. Tell me which part of the earth I fell off. Yeah. Tell me which part of the earth I fell off. Yeah. Tell me which part of the earth I fell off, nigga. Yeah. Tell me which part of the earth I fell off. Yeah. Tell me which part of the earth I fell off. Only God knows. You motherfuckers will never notice though. They'll never ever notice. No haters shall ever prosper. King Mosh Pit.
Welcome back to the Stephen Knight Show. Adam, how's it going? Week 10, quarantine. How are you and the missus? I know things are opening up. How's it in DC?
Good. So not yet on opening up, but yeah, it's, we kind of kept a quiet weekend, went to the grocery store and just kind of hung out around the house. So not too much. How about you?
Did you ever think the grocery store would be an event? Like it's an event for we're going to the grocery store.
Well, yeah, even before quarantine, it was an event. So. Oh
yeah. Well, I can't complain. It was great weather here. Of course, it didn't do much, but it is what it is.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Well, I'll let you and Adam you and Chike take away with movie reviews.
Sure thing. So I saw a couple movies this weekend, and the first one I'll start with is a movie that was recently released at the beginning of this month called Arkansas. And it's a crime thriller film directed by Clark Duke, and he actually stars in it. And for anyone unaware who he is, which I was, he is, I think, most well known as the kid in Hot Tub Time Machine 1 and 2. And this movie also stars Liam Hemsworth, Vivica A. Fox, Vince Vaughn, John Malkovich, Michael Keenan Williams. So it's got a pretty good cast, and it follows these two low-level drug runners in Arkansas that are kind of just going through their lives of delivering packages, picking up the money, and things like that for a drug dealer known as the Frog. And a series of events happens during one of their dealings that causes them to be on the hunt by the Frog. And Frog's actually played by Vince Vaughn, and it kind of goes through that. So think of kind of one of those low stakes kind of crime movies where honestly not much happens, and this movie has some potential, but overall I felt like it wasn't really hitting on all cylinders. And I know Clark Duke's this is his first directorial debut, and you can definitely tell it's a little rough in the directing side. Actually, script was a little rough as well. They do flashbacks of Vince Vaughn and how he became the Frog, and those parts were the most interesting parts of the movie. But it's a $6 streaming movie if you're looking for something different and you like Liam Hemsworth and the rest of the cast. Check it out. Otherwise, though, I would not recommend this. This is a movie I wouldn't call a bad movie, but easily skippable. The next movie I saw, which is one that I've been meaning to see for quite some time, and it came out in 2016, and it's called The Nice Guys. And Chike, I don't know if you've seen this back when it came out, but it's a detective comedy with Russell Crowe and Ryan Gosling in the 1970s, directed by Shane Black and written by Shane Black. And he's most famously known for writing The Lethal Weapon, first movie, The Last Boy Scout, Last Action Hero, Iron Man 3, things like that. So if you're used to his types of movie where the dialogue's quick, the pacing's fast, the action's fun, this is definitely up your alley. Russell Crowe and Ryan Gosling do a great job. And again, this is just a fun all-around movie. And if you have HBO, it's on there, so you can watch it for free. And again, it's a movie I slept on, and I've known to not like Ryan Gosling a lot. I do like him. I just don't like the hype around him and how everyone thinks he's amazing. But he does a great job in this movie, and this is one that I would highly recommend.
Good. You're hard on Ryan Gosling like I am on Nicolas Cage, I swear.
Yeah, no, and I like him, and I just every movie acts like he is like this incredible actor, and I like him again, but it's just I don't see it. I've never seen The Notebook, so maybe that's why I didn't fall in love with him with the rest of America. But yeah.
Okay, fair enough. So I saw two films. The first film being Capone, which is the 2020 release. It's direct to streaming. This is probably something that was going to come out in the theaters. Which stars Tom Hardy, Linda Cardellini, and Matt Dillon. If you don't know who Linda Cardellini is, she's also starring with Christina Applegate in the series on Netflix called Dead to Me. She's a really good actress, maybe a little underrated. She's been in a lot of films. Check her out. She's pretty good. Tom Hardy definitely had some production in this movie, I could tell, because it's his speed. He's semi-dark. This movie follows the last year of Capone's life. And if anyone knows anything about Capone, Al Capone that is, who was a notorious gangster who eventually was captured and put into prison. And because of his mental state, they allowed him out for his last year. And his mental state started to deteriorate because he was suffering from neurosyphilis. And neurosyphilis is basically when you acquire syphilis, and it goes untreated, and it migrates to your brain, and it starts to deteriorate your mental well-being. So allegedly, Capone has money hidden somewhere. So the FBI was basically on him ever since his release, and they had been monitoring him and bugging him. So it goes through this whole phase of him living down in Florida and retiring the leisure life, and the FBI being on his heels, surveilling, basically looking for hints for the missing money, because it's money that he never paid taxes on. And I think that this was really brilliantly played by Tom Hardy, and I think that Tom Hardy is underrated when it comes to his acting skill. He really has the ability to frighten you, disgust you, aggravate you, unnerve you, and him playing this iconic gangster character in the flux of his mental stability, I thought was brilliant. I enjoyed it. And it has these moments where it goes into these tangents of flashes of insanity, only to come back to his reality. And when you go off on the tangent in this movie and his mental escapades, and then it comes back, you can actually feel what it would probably be like to start to lose your mind. It's really, really good. I highly recommend it. There is some gangster action in it, even though, because he does have flashbacks. There is some gangster action, and it does get a little graphic when it comes to, the guns and the shooting and the killing and all that stuff. So all that stuff is in there, which you would associate with Tom Hardy, because that's what he loves. I highly recommend it. Check it out if you can afford to. Again, that I saw that on Amazon Prime, and of course you pay the fee for that extra streaming, the early release. The second film was The Last Final Measure. Now, this film came out last year, and it was not on my radar. I knew nothing about it. I found it in me searching for something to watch. And this film stars Sebastian Stan, William Hurt, Christopher Plummer, Peter Fonda, and Samuel L. Jackson. And fun point, Sebastian Stan, William Hurt, and Samuel Jackson are all Marvel alum. So they've all been in Marvel movies, and they've been in movies together.
Nice.
Also starring Diane Ladd and Amy Madigan, who are acting veterans, which rounds out the cast. So 34 years after Airman William H. Pitts is his nickname, Pitts Barger. I think this is Pitts Barger Jr. 34 years after his death, he is given the Medal of Honor. It took so long because he was caught up in, his name and his medal was caught up in a bunch of bureaucracy. This is a political movie. Not too much military action, not too much violence and shooting. There is some, but not a lot. So if you're in it for the action, not this movie. It's very political. I thought that it was brilliant because it's a true story, and it just goes to show you how the government makes maneuvers to try to cover up things and to try to make things look golden on the outside when they're really not. And they would go to the lengths of not giving someone their just due because it would uncover so much ugly stuff surrounding it. And that's basically what happened in this movie. This was during the Vietnam War, and of course the Vietnam War was very scandalous and it was very controversial. And a lot of things that happened in the Vietnam War were not well received by the public. So basically, in order to give this man an award, the award is based on what? And so therefore, if it's based on whatever it's based on, you have to investigate to figure out why is he getting an award in the first place.
Yeah.
So they didn't want that to happen because you would find out some ugly truth. So it was caught up in bureaucracy for years, and finally they really do at the end. I'm just going to tell you the end, but you have to watch the bureaucracy and what the cover-up is, and that's the meat of the movie. They finally give him his award, and at the end, I swear, there is this big emotional moment that you will have for the veterans of this country and what they do to keep us safe and to fight for our right for justice. Everybody, all the heavy hitters, knocked this movie out of the park. There's excellent acting. There were some very truthful moments. How
long ago did this come out? Because I think didn't Peter Fonda just die like a year ago or so? So
yeah. So this is a 2019 release. I don't know, you know how the movie industry works.
Yeah.
They could have filmed it in 2018. But yeah, and Peter Fonda does an awesome job, you know, with the whole post-traumatic stress. You know, he's a Fonda, so why wouldn't he do a good job? It's awesome. Definitely check it out.
Nice.
Nice.
And I wanted to go quick back to Tom Hardy because I agree, Chike. He's one of those that he always does a great job in every movie he is. I also think, though, he also picks like a lot of movies, and not every movie he's in is good, like Dark Knight Rises. Or did you ever see that one where he was in the car lock and it's just him for 2 hours driving?
Yes.
And I know people like those movies, but I was Tom Hardy again. He's one of those that I'll enjoy him in any movie, but he doesn't draw me into the box office. So it's interesting about Capone.
You know what the thing about him is I like Tom Hardy, but I really like him when he's able to have a hand in the production of whatever he's in. He does a lot better with that because it tends to have his personality all over it. And his personality, this man doesn't even own a razor. He doesn't shave like the conventional ways. He's a little ruffian. You know, he's gruff.
Yeah.
You know, he's that dude, and he brings that to his productions. I love it.
And I don't know if you read that the oral history of the Mad Max Fury Road, but that came out in the New York Times, I think, earlier last week. But it was very interesting because he actually got in kind of arguments with the director because he didn't understand the movie and what the heck was going on, and it was apparently difficult to work with him on set because he was always getting in kind of arguments with Charlize Theron. But after the movie came out, he was like, okay, I understand, and I was totally wrong for disagreeing with you throughout the whole process because you know what you're doing. So yeah, interesting character.
Yeah. And if I'm correct, Charlize Theron was a producer on that production, I believe. Yep. So that he was arguing with his boss. Netflix, Dead to Me is back, which is so hilarious.
Yeah, I started watching that.
I'm just a few episodes in. It didn't bite me as it did last season.
Correct.
You know, at least I'm about 3 in. It's not affecting me like it did last season, but I'm going to hold with it because I was so impacted last season. So I'm going to carry it through. Hopefully, maybe midway through they'll gain me back. But as of right now, 3 episodes in, I'm like,
Yeah, let me know your thoughts because I felt exactly the same.
I feel the same too. I feel the exact same. Real quick, go ahead, Chica.
I was going to move on to Insecure, which is a huge episode yesterday.
Yes.
Huge episode.
Yes.
OMG.
She should have walked in the restaurant.
You think so?
Yes.
Maybe she just wasn't beat. Maybe she wasn't beat to walk in a restaurant. Sometimes you especially dealing with interpersonal relationships, she probably knew in her core that she was not ready to have the conversation that they needed to have because she hasn't resolved her own issues around what it is that she feels about the situation. And so how can you have an adult conversation that way?
No, I agree.
I mean, of course, we want the friendships back, but if you're not ready, I mean, and to be truthful, if I can put some truth out there right now, I actually have a friend who I'm going through this with right now, and we haven't spoken for 2 years. And I got a text message saying, and this is weeks ago, basically saying, thank you for being on the front lines and thank you for supporting and being out there and doing the one. And I was like, okay, thank you. I hope you're being safe and protecting yourself out there. But then, after that, and I'm thinking like, well, was that an opening? Was that, your way of making your way back without saying I'm sorry? But I'm at the point now where I need to hear you apologize because I need for you to own what happened. And I'm sure that, and I applied it to their friendship, those things.
But sometimes people don't know. They don't always know what they did wrong. And I think that when we can effectively communicate that to that person, then if they don't get it, then that's something else. But if you can effectively say, "This is why it bothered me," you know what I mean. But they have to be receptive to that. So,
that's true.
Yeah. All right. So we got
Adam, do you watch Insecure?
No, but I should. What's it on? Netflix?
No, it's on HBO.
HBO.
Okay, yeah, I'll give it a shot. It's good.
It's really good.
Okay, so to go all the way to the beginning and then come up to now.
Okay.
What else you got?
So there is a show that's new to me on Amazon Prime. It's called Kingdom, and of course, if anyone knows, I'm into MMA, and UFC fighting. And this show it's honestly kind of like Animal Kingdom, in the sense that there's a family drama and that same production style, and it also happens in Venice, California. There's an MMA family, and they're trying to hold on to their gym, and they're going through different life changes, and there's violence in it, there's drama in it. One of the characters comes out of prison to find that his woman that he was about to marry is now in love with and shacked up with the gym owner. Like, there's a lot of drama going on, and it's really good. It's like a really good soap opera with fighting and guts and blood and criminality and all that stuff. All the good things that make a good
Right up
show.
your alley.
And it stars Nick Jonas, of all things. Who would have thought that Nick Jonas brought it? He's good in it. But this show came out in 2004. It ran 2014 to 2017. It was new to me, but I'm loving it all the same.
Nice.
Yeah, that's basically it for me right now.
Okay. Real quick, Insecure, I love it. How to Get Murder had its season finale last Thursday. That's how you end the season. Empire, that's how you end the season. And so it's really good. I watched some movie on Netflix. I think it was called The Wrong Millie. That annoyed me in the first hour, but it made sense in the end. The Last Dance with the Michael Jordan and the Chicago Bulls, that documentary ended yesterday, the last 2 episodes. Amazing documentary. Everyone, if you've seen The Last Dance, check it out. But listen, guys, thank you so much for letting us know what to spend our time on and what not to. And we'll talk again the week after Memorial Day.
Sounds good.
All right.
Absolutely.
Have a good night. We'll be right back after this.
Don't make me wait, no, don't be afraid, no. I'm a big boy, I'ma eat everything on my plate, oh. Don't be ashamed, no, I know you ain't got your face on. But I love it in the morning, inside your legs ain't nothing like baking hot cakes and eggs. You wake up, oh, we gon' get it in, get it in. Give you my love, we gon' turn this bedroom to a kitchen. Let's get ahead, oh, you can't get away, get away. Give my bed, stop playing, girl, give me them cakes. Girl, between the sheets we rolling. Nothing but love in the morning. I got to have breakfast and squeezing and teasing. If you put it in my face, I'm eating. Nothing but love in the morning. I got to have breakfast. Some call me loco, but I need it all so bad. When you give it early in the morning, got me twitching. Eyes roll back when I'm staring at the ceiling. Girl, you and I. How many licks just to get to your center? When I beat that batter, girl, I'ma fry them cakes with a cast iron skillet. You wake up, oh, we gon' get it in, get it in. Give you my love, we gon' turn this bedroom to a kitchen. Let's get ahead, oh, you can't get away, get away. In my bed, stop playing, girl, give me them cakes. Rolling, girl, between the sheets we rolling. Nothing but love in the morning. I got to have breakfast and squeezing and teasing. If you put it in my face, I'm eating. Nothing but love in the morning. I got to have breakfast and baby, I could go hard like this all day. It feels so good when we shake and bake. When you curl your toes and you grab my hand, this
is the sound when we making man. Wake up. Oh, we gon' get it in, get it in. I'ma give you my love. We gon' turn the spread room into a kitchen. Let's get up. Oh, you can't get away, get away. In my bed. Stop playing, girl, give me them K's.
Welcome back to the Stephen Knight Show. Aaron Cosby, how you feeling?
Feeling good. Feeling good, man. You?
So this is like week 10 of quarantine, although places are opening up. How's it in North Carolina?
It's like this is the first week, like phase one.
Yeah.
So we shall see.
Yeah.
I'm hoping everything's smooth.
Yeah.
But yeah, we'll see.
I feel you.
I
I know
down in Georgia.
Well, things are opening up. Definitely. I'm just not there yet. I'm staying home. The most I do, like I went to my best friend's house this weekend, but I know he's quarantined and people in his house, everyone's quarantined. But in case business back to normal, no, I just can't do it. I refuse because the doctors and the scientists are saying it's too soon. You know what I mean? So yeah. But sports is coming back. NASCAR had their first races this weekend without any people in the stands in the audience.
Yes.
And then baseball.
Everybody. Oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Baseball's announced that they're going to do the same. They have a lot of guidelines: no high fiving, no showers, like in the locker rooms. Everyone's trying to figure out a new normal. How do you feel about sports coming back with these new stipulations?
I'm just glad that sports is coming back. Like,
yeah,
we need this. We need this, and whatever guidelines that they feel is necessary.
As long as they do it safely, you know what I mean?
Absolutely. And this is only going to be temporary. Like this is not going to be permanent. So please, people talking about this is the new normal. No, it is a temporary.
I think there is a new normal, but I don't think that these immediate changes are going to be what's going to be our new normal. You know what I mean?
Okay, that's a offline, off-camera conversation.
We can talk about it now.
Oh, can we? Okay. Yeah. All right. So do
you think
let's talk about this.
But you think things will go back to normal? You think that?
I hope so. Yeah. I mean,
I don't think they will.
And what? Give me an example.
Think about it like this: 9/11. After 9/11, the whole way we start flying has changed and it's not gone back to normal.
I ain't talking about that. I'm talking.
No, but what I'm saying is that I think some of these new practices are going to become our new normal. I don't think it's going to be this lockdown and we wear masks every day and that kind of thing. But things are definitely going to change, I believe.
Like what? Give me something, Stephen Knight.
I mean, I think it's yet to be seen. You know what I mean? But we already seen where places that have opened back up and they've had to close, or in a lot of places they just changed the way they do business. And I think until we get a better handle on what this virus is and what it, you know what I mean? Because we still don't know a lot about it. You know, everything's changed. First, kids weren't affected. Now they have this new side effect from coronavirus that's happened with over 130 some kids, and at least 3 died. At first we didn't need to wear masks. Now we got to wear masks. It's just there's still more information. So until the testing is at the numbers it needs to be at, and until we have more information, there's gonna be a change.
Okay. Side note, everybody, yes, I am playing with the camera, trying to figure everything out.
Which I don't know why he's doing that. We're on the air, but go ahead.
We on the air. This is this is live. I mean, this is
All right. So why you should have done all this before?
I'm bored.
Don't be bored while you're doing the show.
Quarantine. Come on, bro. Like, please give me something to have fun with. Oh my gosh. Like, I feel like I'm just I just needed to get back to normal, please. Yeah. Whatever something. I just need something.
No, I feel you there.
And sports is that. I need to watch some I don't know.
Well, did you watch did you watch the finale of Last Dance?
I didn't get a chance to yet. I will tonight, and I'll talk about it next week. So actually, we're not, because next Monday is Memorial Day. Yeah, that's anyway, that's a whole nother topic. All right, but yeah, the next time that I'm on, I will discuss it. So, did you like it?
I loved it. I watched it today. You know, 90s NBA. I mean,
nothing like it, right? It was
It was just. And, you know, it was funny because I was watching The View this morning, and Meghan McCain, she's not a sports person, but she said her husband is, and he wanted them watch together. And she said, this is better than reality TV because you find so much behind-the-scenes stuff that happens.
Yeah, definitely.
And that you just didn't know. And even Michael saying that, he said in one of the episodes that you may not like him after watching this documentary. You might see him a lot differently. And I don't think that it wasn't that we didn't like him. We don't like him. We just saw the price it is to be at that level of playing that he did, you know, to be the GOAT in the industry. You know, it's just there's a lot that goes into that. And so while we saw this, you know, like Mike, if I could be like Mike, image, but you don't know what being like Mike was.
Being like Mike seemed like it was tough. Yeah. It was tough. I saw. It was the first episode where he was going on a talk show, I believe, in Paris.
Mm-hmm.
And one of the microphone guys that was actually putting the microphone onto Michael, the next thing you know, the guy asked Michael to sign this piece of paper.
Yeah, which was against the rules. But you know, they were on this last episode, not to be a spoiler alert, but when they were in the playoffs against the finals against Utah, and so
which one?
The last one, and so Michael was in his hotel room with his team that he trusted, and they were trying to find him something to eat. Everything was closed except for this pizza joint. They ordered a pizza. 5 people come to the room to drop off the pizza. They're looking in the room, and one of his people think something's not right with here. Michael's the only one who ate that pizza. They poisoned this pizza, and he was.
And that's why he was sick. So it wasn't the flu.
They said it was the flu, but it wasn't the flu.
But it was stomach.
But he said I can't not play. So even if I have to go out here and be a decoy, I have to do something. And he ended up having a great game. But he ended up having a great game.
He did. I mean, and that's Michael Jordan.
But they were reporting that he had the flu. But then it showed how Scottie Pippen played when he had back problems. Anyone that had back problems, you know, that's extremely painful. And how he said, "I'll be the decoy," and he was because Michael told him, "You got to play." He said, and what Scottie would do, he would play 5 minutes, go out and be treated for 5 minutes, come back, be 5, you know. But it just showed the dedication. You know what I mean? And they focus a lot on Steve Kerr, his story. I didn't realize Steve Kerr. Yeah, I didn't realize his father was murdered.
Oh wow.
Yeah, his father was he's part of I can't remember exactly. It was something governmental, and he was overseas and he got shot in the head a couple times. And Steve Kerr, that's what threw him into basketball. He said, "I was not the best player. I was not." He said, but that is what got him to, you know. But it was really good. So you'll definitely enjoy the last 2 episodes.
All right, thank you. Appreciate it. Wow. I'm definitely looking forward.
So what do you think about these the sports coming back with no audience?
Hey, I think it's part of the phase. Like, you know, even with us in society, what do we have? Like phase 1, phase 2, phase 3. So this is just phase 1.
Yeah.
So it's phase 1. Once that's cool, then you get phase 2, and you might start getting fans back in. It might not be a full packed stadium.
Right.
It might be half full or whatever. And then they'll just phase it back in.
Yeah. No, I agree.
I'm okay with it. I'm like, yo, but it's going to be interesting how on TV how it plays out.
Yeah.
You don't have the actual fan noise. I'm like, are they going to maybe do some artificial crowd noise or something?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And if they do, how is that going to come off? Is it going to come off as being artificial?
But you know what? I think that sports fans in general will just be happy that sports are back.
I just wanted, just play. Like, I'm still, and I'm going to talk about this for a while. I'm still mad about the Final Four. I think that they should actually come back with the Final Four, and instead of it being March Madness, maybe being May Madness or Summer Madness or something.
Yeah.
Like, I just think that it sucks that these kids play so hard, and then it just nothing. Yeah. Nothing.
I agree.
Nothing. It's not fair. It's just not fair.
I agree. Well, hopefully, as we continue to figure this thing out, we will do what we have to do to make sure we can still keep, because the people will say it's not just the players that aren't getting paid, but these are the people that work concession stands, team managers, or, people that work within. There are a lot of different variables to people that work in these industries. And so hopefully they'll find a way of employing them back, but doing it in a way that doesn't, get people more sick. You know what I mean?
Absolutely. Yeah, it's a domino effect. Like, it's not only workers that actually work within those actual teams, but it's the hotel staff.
Mm-hmm.
Because people actually come to cities to go see these guys play. Mm-hmm. They buy the hotel. They stay there. That's an issue. Then you got travel. People actually flying and traveling. People aren't really traveling anymore to go to these games. So it's a lot.
It is a lot.
People aren't going out to eat after these games or before the game. So it's just
most definitely
it's expansive.
No, it really is. Well, hopefully soon things will get closer back to normal. But Aaron, tell everyone they can follow you on your social media.
First name that's my email. My first name, my last name at Instagram.
Aaron Cosby on Instagram, Facebook, Twitter.
Should I just say that?
Make it easy.
I'm sorry. Yeah, Aaron Cosby at Facebook, Instagram, or Twitter.
All right, Aaron. Well, have a great week. Stay safe. We'll talk again in a couple weeks.
All right. Appreciate it.
All right. Right back after this.
Your face. It's clear you don't love me, and I don't have no time for these games. Whoa. Said maybe we should call it off and end it. It ain't like you want it anyway. I gave so much of myself to you, baby, that I don't have nothing else to give away. Oh. Gonna be crushed by these walls, damaging to one's heart. The truth is, it's probably gonna be me. Oh, baby, my baby, I'm leaving you. Yes, I'm leaving you, my sweet baby. So what else more can I do? So am I supposed to just stay there and act like I don't see it? Baby, you're killing me. You were the air that I breathe. Now I'm not breathing. Oh, maybe I should have called it off from the beginning, but I didn't realize that you weren't gonna be faithful anyway. I would've thought twice before I tried all this time. Baby, I know this won't end well. I know someone's probably gonna be crushed by these walls and redeemed to one heart. Truth is, it's probably gonna be me. Baby, my baby, I'm leaving you. I'm leaving you. Yes, I'm leaving you, my sweet baby. I don't wanna stay no more. What else more can I do? I done tried all I can. So I'm leaving you. Girl, I'm leaving you. Girl, it's true.
Welcome back to the Stephen Knight Show. As you know, this is Mental Health Month, and we started our segment, Mental Health Mondays with Ms. Parker. And so, Ms. Parker, let you take it away.
Happy Mondays and happy Mental Health Mondays, everyone. As you all know, we started this series about 2 weeks ago, and I hope that the information that I'm sharing with you all is helpful. Today, I wanted to share with you the journey of healing as it involved you being a victim and the victim mentality. I read this meme that said, switch your mentality from I am broken to helpless to I am growing and healing, and watch how fast your life changes for the better. I truly do believe that. I think the first step in deciding that you want to heal is deciding that you no longer want to be a victim of your own story, that you are looking forward to being a victor in that story and changing the narrative of the story that was handed to you and what's been done to you, and changing that into from victim to survivor. So I think that in order for you then to make that decision to heal, that have to be a part of the process and a part of the first steps in moving forward in your healing. Things are going to happen to you in your past that you are going to have no control over. You're born into situations that you have no control over, born to people that you have no control over who they are. You have to know that people are doing the best they can with the tools that they have, and that you now have choice. I think that's what empowered me along my journey, is knowing that I had choice, and that empowered me in making the changes that I needed to make to heal and move forward. That I no longer had to agree with the narrative that was assigned to me. I no longer had to agree with anything that did not feel fulfilling and peaceful to my soul. I no longer had to go along with family stories and family narrative of how life should look and be. And I no longer had to carry anybody's burden of anybody's decision, the burden of anybody's decision that they've made on my behalf without me having an input. I think that once you are in that space, you can allow healing. I have seen people go through trauma, and there are two ways of dealing with it. You can go through the healing process in a peaceful mentality, seeking peace, or you can go forward trying to seek your healing in a more destructive way, trying to somehow make people pay for what they've done to you. That's going to not only destroy them, but it will also destroy you in the process of you trying to destroy other people for what they've done to you. So you have to keep that in mind as you move forward through your healing. Do you want to move forward and find peace in your life? You have to be peace. You have to be at peace. Or do you want to move forward in a destructive way, in a payback way, and I'm going to get them way, in order for you to find the peace that you're going to seek? And I will tell you this, that will not happen. You would end up destroying yourself in the process of trying to destroy other people who you think have done you wrong. So letting go of that victim mentality gives you the power to heal yourself, and the power to find that peace within yourself and create a more peaceful life for yourself.
Most definitely. Listen, people are loving this segment. Even the repost on the Stephen Knight Show page from Our Healing Space, which is your Instagram page for healing. Obviously, you have your personal, Miss Parker 03. But thank you so much for sharing this each week. And we continue to inspire us, So thank you.
Thanks for creating this space for me.
Most definitely. For more information, go to our website at StephenKnightShow.com. Look in the bio for her Instagram pages, and we'll be right back after this.
From the moment I saw your face, ay, I knew you were the one. Your fragrance and your embrace, it's in me off the edge. And then I began to chase you because of what you do. No matter how far, wherever you are, I swear I love you in a special way. You are the one for me. With you I will stay here from the start. Let's never part. You stole my heart and forever you are my love. Oh baby, you are my love. Hey, now that I have you here, I just wanna make it clear. See, you're the one I hold dear. No worries, ain't got no fears. It's everything that you do. It proves why I chose you. No matter how far, wherever you are, I swear I love you in a special way. You are the one for me. With you I will stay here from the start. Let's never part. You stole my heart and forever you are my love. Oh baby, you are my love.
See, baby, it's something about you. You know, every time my eyes meet yours, your eyes meet mine, it's just something so divine inside.
It's so divine. See, baby girl, it's something about you. Pass me by. See, baby, it's you. I love you in a special way. You are the one for me. I will stay here from the start. Let's never part. You stole my heart and forever you are my love. Oh baby, you are my love. See, baby girl, it's something about you. Yeah.
And before we close for the night, each week we highlight Black-owned businesses. And tonight I want to highlight a few. First one I want to highlight is Washington Reality. It is a company full of appraisers, real estate agents, and real estate brokers out of Georgia, here in Georgia, and Douglas, Georgia. Check them out. Check them out for sure. Then we have Beach Tree Dental Care. They're in Boca Raton, Florida. It's a dental office, Black-owned. They're off of West Palmetto Park Road in Boca Raton. So check them out. That's another Black-owned business. We also have some other ones. Let me highlight those real quick. We have Value Force, which is in Austin, Texas. And they essentially, they're it's actually owned by a 15-year-old who decided to start a podcast business for youth to become successful by valuing themselves. This person teaches teens up to their age, 15 of course, and how to become highly effective, successful, and valuable. I don't know if it's a he or she, but the mission is to inspire young individuals all around the world and help them start their self-discovery journey. Again, that's called Value Force. It's a woman, by the way. So check her out, her podcast out, and she is based out of Austin, Texas. And then our last one, there's so many of them. We have to highlight our Black-owned businesses. This is, I'm sorry, I lost it that fast. I'm sorry. We're doing this live, so we have a little bit of issues. Polyon Dental Group is another dental office out of New York. Black-owned business. It's a woman-owned, and it's a dentist office, and they're doing virtual appointments. You can book them today. And again, that's called Apollyon Dental Group. And they're in New York, off of West 57th Street Suite. Listen, thank you again for joining us tonight. Shout out to Prentice Penny and Trent J. Johnson for joining us tonight. Much success to them, continued success. Have a great week. And we'll talk again the weekend after Memorial Day weekend. Be safe. Good night.
Hey, this is Prentice Penny, the showrunner of Insecure and the writer-director of Uncorked, and you're listening to The Stephen Knight Show.
Tonight is all eyes on me.